dedicate this episode to the one and only Crazy K, Katora Caesar. She would be very much missed, and she was always loved. She was a great creative, and we continue to create in her honor.
Absolutely.
White Walker perpetuated offenses are considered especially heinous. In Westeros, 4 dedicated friends investigate and discuss these vicious episodes as members of an elite squad known as A Podcast Has No Name.
Can I just really briefly tell you how much I've missed you guys and how I absolutely hate missing calls the way that we did? You know, 1 week is one thing, but it was over and over and over, and I really missed you guys. And this is absolutely a form of therapy for me, and I need my session. That's all I got.
True that.
What up? I'm Aphrodisiac.
Gizzo, Ambush. Curly Castro.
Morris. And we are A Podcast Has No Name.
No name.
No name.
I don't know why I wanted to go rogue this time. I just wanted to do it. I just wanted to be in there.
You felt it. You got to go with those feelings, Afro. You got to go with those feelings. Mm-hmm. Follow your heart. So we are doing the big rewatch, and this is season 1, episode 5, The Wolf and the Lion. Is someone beatboxing?
Game on! Game of Thrones!
Oh my gosh.
Game of Thrones!
He was like waiting for that. It's like it was like burning inside of him.
It was.
Game of Thrones!
That entire conversation beforehand just fed it even more. He was like, I can't wait to be done talking about females. Get this out.
So I can serenade y'all.
I
didn't even get to what that was about. What was he even going to say about women?
I'm not even sure.
No, wait, how did that come up?
I thought it was supposed to take it to them. We were supposed to take it to them for some reason. You and I are supposed to tag team them.
Yes. Thank you. Yeah. For these lovely ladies delaying us ever so lovely.
Listen, Castro, they obviously have much busier schedules than we do.
No, wait. Yo, you can't really males right now? Mail our ass to the fucking whatever. We ain't doing shit that they do. Oh, well, you know, I'm out of town. See these pictures. Look at me. I'm fabuloso. Catch me later.
I was waiting for that to come. I was like, Morgan, they not going to let you be great. Somebody's going to let you be great.
Where's Francesca? Oh, there she. Oh, there. Francesca. Guantanamera. Yes. Okay. So.
Okay.
Okay, Guantanamera. What she's doing? Oh, she's pruning. Okay. Barbarella. Yes, there. Decent. Come on. Decent.
Okay, for our listeners, basically, Morgan and I have been really fucking busy because we're dope and busy and shit, you know, and be low-key busy, too. He just be trying to play like, oh, y'all can't do it there. Okay, all right, well, you
That's
know.
exactly what happened.
Damn, no, he be busy, too.
I'm pretty sure Castro is playing that same-ass card.
Yes,
exactly.
Your secret life.
Castro's getting very, 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 very lucky by just being the last one to respond. Like, he's the first one to ask and then the last one to respond, which legitimately means that he likely couldn't do it that day either, and is hoping that someone else is like, not today, guys. Now, here's the thing, Castro.
I can do it any day. I do this after midnight, witching hour. I'm up talking to y'all at 3 a.m. And y'all are like, oh, it's 6. Oh, I'm getting tepidly tired. I'm doing this at 3.
Okay, first of all, it will never be 6 here and 3 in the morning there. And yes, Castro, I am that asshole woman that hears just that out of everything you just said, and I don't take any other credence to anything else. I will stick on that point until you relinquish.
Okay, Morg, it's our day of reckoning. Yeah, Afro, move over.
No.
You got a new one on the enemy throne. Okay.
No, thank you.
No, thank you. Oh, no, thank you. Oh, no.
No,
Okay.
No, that's
Really?
your guys' dynamic.
You are the
Not
same
really.
person. And, all right, so now our listeners, y'all are going to be, get a nice little sneak preview into our text message thread that we have that is not part of the recording, where somebody admitted, Morgan, that's the somebody who admitted, I know it's been our fault that we haven't been able to make the calls, but somehow I want it to be Castro's fault. And after liked the comment, laughed until he pulled the clone me.
And I was like, you know what? Me too.
I mean, somebody needs to commend me for my fucking honesty. You know, I know it's not your fault. I'm not actually blaming you.
And you're brilliant. You're just brilliant.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So, you know, I mean, I see the value in what you're trying to go for, but I mean, a little backfire there. Just a touch.
So if we transfer that example that I made if we transfer that example I made into a interrogation room where a cop is asking questions about me, we know what you're gonna say. So. All right.
Oh, have you seen the movie Four Brothers?
Yeah, it's been a while, but I did see that movie.
Okay, well, so at the very end of it, they're all in an interrogation room, and the only thing that I would ever say to a police officer asking me anything about you is, I fucked your mother.
All right. There it is.
I really am on your side.
There it is. Seem like, okay.
Castro, it's like this. You know how it is. We can fuck with you, but nobody else can fuck with you.
But nobody else can, right?
Not a soul. Yeah,
right.
Not a soul outside of this. No.
Yeah, you know what that feels like, man. Oh, that'll heal. We, that's just your living. That'll heal.
So that didn't.
All right, walk it off.
That didn't help the wound at all, huh?
That's just dislocated. Ain't broken, nigga. Get up. So, moving on.
Let's pop it back in place.
Yes.
And give you an
and by that, we'll give you an opiate.
Oh, why? So I can go into counseling and not to jail? Oh. Okay.
I mean, we didn't give you an addiction. We just let you have
I'm just
one.
saying. I have a problem. I'm not a criminal. So this episode, The Wolf and the Lion.
So the episode opens. If we'll take a quick moment to remember that there was a death at the end of the other episode at the party hand joust.
Who?
Match.
Oh yes. Oh, I did forget about that. You.
What the fuck ever.
The newly knighted guy, right?
Yeah, Sir Hugh.
Yeah.
Sir Knight Nunu Hugh was killed.
Nunu Hugh
was killed. And so the episode opens with Ned walking the grounds of the party.
Yeah. Then he heads into the tent where they have Sir Hugh's body laid out, and I guess they're like sort of prepping him for burial or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking they were prepping him for a funeral, but then Sir Barristan is like, yeah, we had a visual last night, and I was the only one there, so I was like, all right.
He ain't got no family. He ain't got no friends.
Yeah, no people.
He ain't got no people. No people.
And so Ned makes mention of his armor, his being Sir Hugh's armor, saying, like, yo, this is new armor. What's up with that? And then, like, how do they determine, like, it's interesting that he died right away as I was, like, trying to get at him. He didn't say that exactly, but, it's interesting that he died right away. Who chooses who will be, in these matches? And
with the mountain.
Yeah, with the mountain. And Sir Gregor's like, Sir Gregor, what the fuck? Sir Barristan is like, they draw straws, and Ned's like, well, whose fucking straws are they, So Ned's still, like, thinking, like, trying to get to the bottom of, like, how did this new knight, first of all, become a new knight, but, or how is he now a sir, and then how did he also, like, end up being in this match right away? It just seems like a really fast, sort of, what would you, how do you say, a promotion?
Quick ascension.
Like a fast series of, like, promotions for this dude who had no money a few weeks ago and wouldn't have even been able to afford this armor, much less probably would have been considered to be in this match to begin with.
Right.
So,
right.
So, yeah, they're there, and then they head outside, and Ned and Sir Barristan are talking outside.
So they're talking about the whose straws and stuff before they come outside, and when they come out, they start talking about immediately. Ned is like, hey, or no, Sir Barristan says, hey, it's been a while, like 15 years, and we were fighting on opposite sides of each other, and Ned's like, yeah, I'm happy I never met you on the field because I didn't want to die, and my wife doesn't want to be a widow. And they talk about how Ned's dad told him that Sir Barristan was the best knight there is, and don't fuck with that guy. And Sir Barristan's like, yeah, you're humble. That's cute, but I know what you can do, and I'm not falling for this bullshit. I'm just not going to do it.
But right before that, he was like, sorry about, what happened to you, what the Mad King did to your dad. And then Ned, like, quickly changed the subject. Yes, anyway. That was funny.
Back to this armor that the bull had on.
Back to Sir Hugh Nunu and his armor. How did he get that?
Right.
And I believe they discussed that he was the, like, John Aaron's, what do they call it?
He was his
lord. He was a squire. Thank you.
Yeah.
He was his squire, and then all of a sudden he's got this brand new armor, and he's a knight, and all of that happens as soon as John Aaron is dead. And Ned is just trying to put these pieces together because none of it's adding up.
Right.
So he's got to go see Robert.
Oh. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, you got it. So then we cut to Ned and Robert in the tent, and Ned walks in. Robert is trying to get fitted in his armor by Lancelot.
Yes, this is my favorite.
And, again, as soon as the scene started, and, Robert's yelling, I'm nothing but laughing. Every time Robert goes at somebody, it is hilarious. So Lancelot's trying to get the armor.
Can I interrupt really quick?
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, I forgot a part that matters to where you're going, which is Robert wants to joust now. After seeing the other joust, he's like, my turn!
Were we taking that seriously, or was he like, going through the motions?
No, I think
no, he wanted to.
I think he definitely wanted to. And let's ask that question once Amber starts talking. But I just wanted to make, I think that's relevant, and my bad for missing that part. But he legit is like, my turn. I'm ready. It's someone shoot me up because I want to hit things and kill people.
Right, but that's why I was saying, was he serious? Because, and then we can't get to it because, nobody will beat him. You know what I mean?
But he didn't come to that realization on his own. Yeah.
Okay.
So Amber's take it away.
It's the conversation with Ned to get him to that realization. He did not have that realization on his own. He's in there. He's getting suited up. Now he's flipping on Lancel because my man is fat as shit. He can't fit in his armor. Like, So that whole
it's been a while.
What did he call her? He called Lancel's mom. He called her. He said she was something with a fat ass. And I was
dumb whore.
Stuttering?
No, not
I still think he's stuck on the stuttering.
Not this time.
Okay.
Not this time.
He just said your mother was a dumb whore with a fat ass.
Yo, so it's okay. So It's 2017.
Which was legitimately not in any way in context something he should have said.
I know. I'm not saying he should have. I'm just saying the way, for a split second, the way I processed it, you know, I was like, damn, that's crazy. Your mom had a fat ass. Why is he even referencing that? That's drawing and shit.
Look, y'all, we're the same. We're the same. Because that's what I was about to say. So do we know that she had a fat ass? Like, I was about to say, is that like,
oh my God.
Are you saying his mom was a baddie?
That's how we heard it. That's how the males in this podcast, we thought. So, like, was that known across the realm that she has a fat ass? Really. It was a split second.
I was like,
okay,
so
then if I could just... If I could just...
You know how they have like green-eyed... They have green-eyed Caspius. He has a green eye, so he doesn't know. Fat eye, fat ass.
That's not this doesn't sound like an insult. Where I come from, Robert.
I like a nickname.
No.
And the way he said it, what a fat ass.
I'm pretty sure that's just an insult to most white men.
Oh, wait. It's the most of white men telling them your woman has a fat ass.
I think that's yes. Or that their mother does. Like, to most, I'm not saying all, to most white men that like the white standard of beauty is not, and certainly wasn't back then, but
no.
Oh, they were splitting dark oak in the round. They were splitting dark oak. You know, somebody was telling nothing but. I'm just saying that could have been a kink. That's all I'm saying.
But then it's a kink. It's not a.
Let's all calm down for a second here. Are you guys just like completely letting go of the first half of the insult?
No, I got the.
A dumb whore.
I did not.
Yeah, we were just saying.
There.
We were wondering if that descriptive was part of the insult, or was that just her tag or her title? You know what I'm saying? Like, if that's just what she was known as.
That whole thing was supposed to be an insult, guys.
Yes.
There was
no.
We'll just do
to
that.
Be clear.
Thanks, Afro, for bringing it up.
My assessment is slightly different in Castro's. I have complete understanding it was an insult. I was going into my own mind. I had an aside, is what I'm trying to tell you guys. While the episode progressed, I looked over to camera one and to myself was like, is he saying she had a fatty? That's crazy. I know he's not, but that's wild as shit.
Wait, so in what you're explaining to me right now is you broke the fourth wall with yourself?
Correct. Yes, I broke my own fourth wall. And
no, I thought it was throughout the world.
To ask the question, did his mom really have a fatty? So that's clearly the first throw it out there, name of the episode.
Okay.
And let's keep it moving.
Did you know that there was a camera 1 and a camera 2, I guess, in your life?
I'm pretty sure that Am has about 15 cameras on him at all times in his head. I'm pretty positive.
This camera right here? Okay.
I'm surprised camera 1 got action. You know?
Okay, there's
a whole camera.
So he gets upset with Lancel. He plays an additional prank on him and tells him to go look for the breastplate stretcher, something which does not exist at all, completely. He's just killing this kid. And then him and Ned had the conversation. Ned's talking him out of jousting. He's like, "What are you talking about? I need to get out there, knock some heads around." And Ned clearly,
I want to hit somebody.
Yeah, like, no one's going to hit you back, man. You're the king. No one is going to dare hit you back, injure you, swing at you. Like, cut the shit. Like, calm down. You're bugging right now. And so, he brings Robert down and finds, like, all right,
Robert fights him on that.
Yeah, he does. He does a little. He definitely does. And then, they pour some wine. And
which he forces Ned to drink.
Yeah. Yes, he forces Ned to drink. I don't remember them discussing Cersei at that moment.
I think he talked about Cersei in a sense of, like, their marriage, like how that came to be. Like
okay.
Okay.
I don't
like
recall
from a larger Lannister perspective. Like my father said, marrying a Lannister would be this and would be that. I forgot exactly what it was.
Okay.
But it was pretty quick.
Okay. And then we're back out to the games.
All right, so back out to the games, and they just I guess going through the motions, the formalities in the beginning, and Loras comes up with his shining silver armor, and he gives Sansa. It was shining. Like now that as I'm thinking about it, it was shining. Armor all up, looking like a Ghostface Falcon piece.
Okay.
So,
yeah, he's getting money.
Get money.
Yeah.
Get money.
Indeed.
And Loras takes his time to flower Sansa, who's sitting there in the crowd. Anytime somebody gets flowered at one of these things, we immediately think, even if we don't know a lot, this has been referenced about the whole catalyst to Robert's Rebellion with Rhaegar giving the flower to Lyanna Stark instead of his wife, Elia Martell. So it always, every time I see these little things, it makes me think of that. There's not too many times we see this jousting, but I think there was definitely an effort to parallel it from before, from the writing from George R. Martin, and also from how the show depicted it. And then everybody's great notes, Al. And while he's giving the flower to Sansa, he is looking at the person he wants to deflower, which is Renly. And they give each other they give each other these eyes, and we know that the boat swings, the oars row both ways in this realm. So we know that something is going on there. Because, again, we're watching the rewatch, so we kind of already aware of it, but we got to try to remember our first reaction when we saw it. So we realize, there's something going on with them, too. And there's a little more confirmation in the very, very next set of dialogue. But so this is just the beginning. They're setting up, and they start going, Loras and Sir Gregor. They come up to the middle jousting point where the king is. I also see that, like, Robert is just like, he's whatever the formalities. Come on, let's just get this thing started. Like, forget bowing to me and all this other shit. I think he's anxious to see some action. So then Loras and Sir Gregor prepare, and they go off to the opposite ends of the track.
Yeah, and then while they're, like, getting situated, Renly and Littlefinger are having a little back-and-forth moment of, like, I got 100 coins on such and such, and I didn't really get the point of their banter, maybe to just kind of, like, establish their relationship, because I completely forgot. I forgot so much about Renly, which I've realized in this episode. Like, God damn, word, you existed. You were a thing. But yeah.
Nah, that's for real.
I
totally forgot.
Yep.
Yeah, and I remember when I first watched this, it was that whole, like, feeling overwhelmed by all of the characters. So even, like, seeing Renly and Littlefinger going back and forth, but then and my Castro line, not to skip ahead, but when you see Renly and Loras later, I didn't even realize those were the same two people. Like, the first time I was watching it, like, who are they? Like, I was really having a hard time keeping up with characters back then, because it was just like you were just constantly getting introduced to different people with complicated-ass names. So, they were making bad memes.
Similar sounding names. That was the worst part.
And similar, exactly.
Their own line and stuff like that. Also,
and sirs and lords and, all of that.
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
Can I interject, not to jump ahead, as my tagline was stated, but also when you forget about Renly, because I have those moments too, you kind of forget how legitimate a candidate he was in the whole Five Kings.
Yes.
Like, I remember, before we knew the underhand or the mysticism and stuff, we were like, this is actually a legitimate candidate. People actually following him. It is interesting going back and seeing characters that seemed really prominent and powerful at one point until we realized the show don't give a fuck about anything, and they can just be taken out at any time. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're getting situated. Littlefinger and Renly are making beds, and then Sansa is freaking the fuck out. Like, I don't want him to die. He just gave me a flower, so Loras cannot die. I don't want to see. I just watched somebody die at the last show, and it was a lot. And if this nigga dies, a grotesque.
So they don't joust up in Winterfell. They don't joust up in Winterfell, y'all think? They don't do that?
No, there's no pomp and circumstance.
No. That seems like some super regal shit, right?
Just,
like,
they just kill you.
Yeah.
They just kill you.
Ned is out there cutting people's heads clean off. He's not doing this shit for sport.
There's no
it's clean death in Winterfell.
Also, if it was up to Ned, they would not have been doing that shit in King's Landing either. Ned was
at all.
Yeah.
Yep.
But it goes to show that King's Landing even has that arena to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if they built that from scratch, but they probably have this runway. You know, it's King's Landing. Everything's there. The tennis court, the bocce ball.
Or Burning Man.
Yeah.
Bocce ball.
In Winterfell.
On top of that shit.
Also, so Ned reminds me of the main character in Gladiator.
Oh, Maximus?
Yeah.
I've never.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And so, you know how, like, Maximus was always like, I've been in, like, real fucking wars. Like, y'all want this fucking arena. Like, the fuck would I want to do this for? This is stupid. Like, I've seen real men die over bullshit already. And I feel like that's how Ned is. Ned is like, fuck, are you not entertained? Like, this is bullshit. Like, people really die. And no one has time for this. So
also,
I feel like Ned would not let that shit go down in Winterfell.
Yeah, but that resonates like this whole thing. But that resonates my point where there was a lot of Ned naivete thinking that Robert was like him or was going to, you know what I'm saying? That he thought that Robert had sensibility, and there was a disillusionment when he got up there that Robert just kind of like, whatever, I'm going with this or that, you know, until a little later scene.
Absolutely. Ned definitely did not see any of that coming in the way of Robert not being the person he thought he was.
Nah, not at all. Not at all.
So, Ned's fucking trying to comfort Sansa. Like, nah, he's a seasoned dude. He's fought. Like, he's gonna be good. He's gonna be all right. He's gonna be cool. And then the fight begins.
So the fight begins. The first thing we see, though, I want to make mention of, because I certainly paid no attention to this the first time, so just as a rewatch call-out, the Mountain can't control his horse as he's trying to get to his end. And he's, like, what the fucking fuck, horse? Do as I say. And it's a whole thing. Like, the first time, I never paid any attention to that. And this was like, wait a minute, that big, enormous dude can't control his, what's happening? So there's that gives you a little something. But also, is it before it happens? Is it before the match actually happens when Littlefinger says something to Sansa?
Yeah, it's before the match.
It is before.
Okay, so
he mentions that they know that the horse is in heat.
Is in heat, yes.
Yeah.
That the mare is in heat. And she
never do that.
Yes, he's a man of honor. He would never go to such trickery. And Littlefinger's like, oh yeah, okay. Fuck honor when you got gold on the plate. So yeah. So we get that hint that there's something wrong with the horse, and then that the horse is in heat. One of the horses is in heat. Do you know which horse is in heat? I don't know anything about the horses. Is the black one in heat?
No.
So that goes to him.
Right.
Oh,
okay,
it made
so
him perform better. Oh no, I thought it was Gregor's horse.
It was Loras' horse.
No, it's the white horse that's in heat. Yeah, and so the black horse was like, "Oh, I'm trying to hit that."
Reacting to. Oh, got you. Thank y'all. Okay, that's what it was. Okay,
he was reacting.
I thought he was just acting like I get this guy off my back. I'm trying to get some, horse.
No, because he would know.
I think that all goes in heat. Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Loras not letting it be known that his horse is in heat puts Gregor's horse at the disadvantage. Got you.
Yeah.
Oh, and that's why Loras is never stupid. Got you. Okay, thank you. That's a big thing. I never understood the first watch at all.
Yeah.
I thought it was just one of those. Okay.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
So we got that. We don't need to. Okay. So the Mountain can't control his horse. He finally gets the horse over. Match starts, and Sir Loras wins. And what a fucking upset, because there's no reason you're supposed to win against the Mountain.
Right.
So the Mountain is visibly pissed. As
I would think so.
Visibly
Sword.
Sword. But yeah, that's not right. So he's visibly pissed, and Sir Loras is over there taking his victory prance, which it's for sure a prance. It is not a victory lap.
Not a gallop.
By any stretch. It is not a gallop. It is for sure the most elegant prance I've ever seen in my life, and he should have won some sort of equestrian award for that shit, because it was shiny and it was a prance of all prances. So, and Littlefinger and Renly, they immediately look at each other because Littlefinger's like, that's some bullshit.
Right.
And oh damn, how did he say it? Someone help me out with the first part. Renly said
when they bet on it, they said they were talking about gold dragons, and Renly was making an allusion to, we could bet that if you win the bet, you get a friend or something like that. And then when he loses, and Renly says, oh, it would have been nice for you to have a friend. And then Littlefinger says, well, when are you going to tend to your friends? And looks at him and points at Loras too. There's no like making eyes, like he's not darting his eyes directly. He looks at him. Yeah. Points with that big number one finger they wear at football games.
Yes.
He uses that finger. He points.
And the red arrows all the red arrows just start pointing at Loras. Like, that's friend, that one. That guy that you're fucking with. We know about it.
Oh, my God.
We all
know. That one that you have. Yes. Renly was tight.
Oh, wait. So, also, y'all, before we go too far, there was a question of where's Arya, and didn't Sansa say she's with her dance instructor?
Oh, yes.
Am I right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. That absolutely happened.
I wanted to remember.
Ned asked Sansa, and Sansa told Ned she was at her dancing lesson.
Also, isn't it also within this scene? So when Littlefinger was telling them about Loras' horse being in heat, and I guess because again this is early in the season, we're establishing his role and who he is and how much he knows. Didn't it come off as like the pesky Littlefinger that we got in the last episode? Hey, so what's up with you guys' personal business? You want to know some stuff? I know some stuff.
I know stuff.
He was playing that thing. Yes, I know stuff.
Absolutely.
You're gonna pay for this.
Also, in that exact same scene, he puts his hand on Sansa's shoulder, and Ned looks like, the fuck? And
I didn't get that.
Keeps going.
I didn't get that yet.
Littlefinger just keeps going and doesn't even acknowledge that Ned has an issue. And then keeps talking, and Ned just watches that whole interaction and kind of going between the two of them, like, what the fuck is happening right now? This is some good information. Get your hand off my daughter. What's going on? What? How do you know so much? Like, he was.
Right.
That was my other call out. That was different. Of course, I paid no attention to any of that. And on this rewatch, I was like, oh shit, he put his hand on her shoulder.
And that goes to show, I mean, which is a little obvious, but also telling in these things, and what Morgan's pointing out, that if their father was alive, or if, let's just say, Sansa's father was alive, Littlefinger would have never had his end with her, as he does later on. Like, I know, you know, I'm just talking, but you get what I'm saying? Like, their father not being there made all of them vulnerable, and it specifically Sansa to Littlefinger's machinations and stuff. I'm seeing that, like, clearly now. You know what I mean? Because he didn't want Littlefinger near any of his women in his family.
This season, I'm curious to see how, because, you know, everything's getting refreshed as we watch it. This early Littlefinger is just so funny because he's so excited about all the different things that he's putting into play right now. Like, okay, we're at the
he
joust.
Is giddy.
He's the only. He's having an orgasm of information. He can't keep the fuck still. I gotta talk to Renly. I gotta talk to Sansa. Sit down, dude.
Wait, let's go back to Renly. You fucked a boy.
Dude, everyone is trying to watch the fucking joust. You're the only one running.
He's in the mix.
Everybody.
In the mix.
Fuck out, bro.
In the mix.
Yeah.
Yep.
In the mix. There we go.
In the mix.
There he is.
All in the mix. And mixy. Acting on mixy.
Yes.
Yeah. Acting very mixy. This guy.
Man.
You know he's like, he's reminding me of Randall from Recess in these early episodes. The one that used to snitch on them with the little notepad, and he was always popping up out the trash cans and stuff. He'd be in the trash cans and the dumpsters, writing notes about them. Yeah, that's Littlefinger. He's Randall from Recess.
He's Randall. So yeah, Littlefinger, Renly finished that, and we get back to Sir Gregor, who is again visibly pissed. He cannot. He takes his helmet off. He screams, "Sword!"
And he, so one thing I noticed is you see the squire running with the sword, and you need a whole squire for this sword. Like, he's carrying it with his arms and his shoulders. It's a huge.
His whole body.
At first, I'm trying to realize, what is he doing? Like, you know, it's a broadsword. We've seen one before. Ned used it, so it's not necessarily for fighting, but for the mountain it is. This is like his knife compared to his size or whatever. He pulls out the sword. And he proceeds to, at first, when I first watched it, I thought he actually did it, but, you know, on multiple watches, because I've seen this episode a couple of times. He tries to chop the horse's head off. So, fuck you, horse, for being too horny and not helping me win this thing. I'm chopping your head off. He does 2 full swings. The horse, everybody looks over, because, of course, everybody's congratulating Loras on the win, so they don't notice that the mountain is having a meltdown. He cuts off his head, and he goes right for Loras. So my horse was acting up. You're responsible. He comes at them with this giant broadsword. He starts swinging. Loras, let's just give him credit for being adept at. I'm not gonna get too swept up in a moment. I'm gonna grab me a little shield, and I'm gonna block a couple of these attacks. He can clearly cut my head off, and he's not playing. He's not gonna be like psych. So he's deflecting it, and then we see the Hound leap into action. And then we see that this, yes.
I just want to interject one thing really quick. I can't understand how that wooden shield held up against 2 swings of the mountain's broadsword, but it takes the Hound and his metal to get him all the fucking way. Like, that sword was supposed to go right through that shield.
I can agree with that, but just in the sense that what if they put it like, if they put like 10 layers of wood. Get what I'm saying? If it's like that thick. Like,
he just almost cut a horse's head off that was clean, almost. Like, he was real tall.
Successfully cut the horse's head off. Did he not successfully do that?
No,
he did, just not in one swoop.
Yeah, it was like 2 swings, and then the blood spurted so much, but the horse fell, not his head. And when I watched it, you think it's the head falling off, but the horse is still, like, struggling.
Oh.
So all I'm saying is, like, so think of it like this, more. What if you cut out, like, the core of a tree, like as a solid piece, and then carve a shield into that? It would still have some of that thickness and strength to it, rather than,
I hear
you know what I'm saying?
It just seems, yes, I do.
I know, I agree with you. I'm just saying,
ridiculous.
You cut it out of a nice solid piece of wood, like a block of wood, and just chip that down to a shield, it would still have some strength. Because, again, these shields are used in battle. So there'd be no point in making a wooden shield if it could get cut.
I will like to remind us, let's not bring too much science into this.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. My bad. Let's move forward.
We got these.
That's absolutely my bad.
So,
blood magic.
So we start seeing blood magic. So we start seeing this is the first preview of Clegane Bowl. We don't know it's going to be one of the greatest confrontations ever seen to man. And they're going at it. And which
yet to be seen.
Clegane Bowl. And so they're going at it. But one thing you notice is the Hound is holding his own. So they're kind of matched. Even though the Mountain is a giant creature, the Hound has similar height. But I would think the Hound probably is a better sword fighter than his brother. His brother probably wins.
He's quicker.
Force. Yeah, there you go. And he's actually
way
good.
More agile.
Like we know later on the Hound is good. He's good at what he does. So they're fighting. And I love the choreography. This is actually great choreography, even though it's a real short fight, because when Robert stands up and he's had enough, and he says, put an end to all this madness. I'm misquoting a little bit. They're like, stop this in the name of your king. The Hound immediately kneels right when the Mountain takes that last swing. And I thought that was just
and he kneels all in one movement.
Right, without any concern of his safety, he just has to follow his king, and he just drops, bang, and it doesn't matter that the Mountain is still swinging at him, and he misses because of the bow. But I thought that was really great choreography. The Mountain is still visually assessed. He doesn't bow, and it makes you think that he never bows. He ain't for that shit.
Yeah.
And also it comes to show, though, but he's very loyal to Sansa loyal to Cersei before he goes through his transformation later on in the show. But it just, to me, it was interesting that he didn't bow at that moment, but he's still very, very loyal to the queen later on. So he still holds, maybe just not in practice, but in y'all get what I'm saying? Anybody?
Wait, you're saying who didn't bow?
The Mountain.
The Mountain walked off.
Right, the Mountain stormed off.
He stopped fighting.
But I'm saying at that point, he stopped fighting, but he didn't bow like the Hound did. And I was just saying
the Hound did like a crazy, respectful, all-in-one motion. As soon as you started talking, I'm not going to just stop. I'm going to fucking bow and put my sword down and like everything.
Breathing hard.
It was super honorable.
I was just saying it's just interesting that the Mountain acts that way, but then later on, he's still very loyal to his king and queen or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But he still flaunts tradition in that way because he was still very upset. So he starts walking off, and then I thought it was kind of funny to me when Robert tells his guards, let him go. I was like, what they going to do? Like, I just like they had an option.
Like, you lucky he halfway stopped right there.
Like I said, I watched this particular episode.
We're going to let you go because the hand said so, but he ain't.
Yeah, I thought that was very funny. He's like, let him pass. I'm like, he's passing. Like, he's already made up his mind. I don't know what these little chicken nuggets, these little golden nuggets going to do. But he's about to dip them in some fucking sweet and sour sauce and be take out shit on him. I think that's really hilarious. Let him pass. I was like, yo, who are you talking to? Like,
what could you be talking about?
They got their hand on their sword. They got their cakes on. You about to wrap that cake right around their fucking neck and make a nice little chicken nugget sandwich. Anyway.
Period.
If he walks off, and then Loras gives all praise to the hand. He says, you saved my, thank you very much, sir. And
I owe you my life.
But the Hound responds with, I'm not a knight, because he got referred to as sir, and that becomes a little. Yeah. Does he say I'm not a sir? I think he says I'm not a knight, to let you know that when you call somebody sir in this realm, you're meaning like.
I think he said I'm no sir.
Okay, he said no sir. All right. But the sir alludes to being like a knight or somebody anointed by the king or whatever. But he was just saying, I'm not any of that. And Loras says, fuck all that, and grabs his hand and raises up. And I also think that was the first time that he's ever gotten like applause at one of these things. Even if he's ever competed, I think that was the sense that I was getting. Like him getting the fanfare, usually never ever.
They're not being used to
everybody.
it.
Yeah, right. And so he looks physically uncomfortable, but that just seems like we come to know that's just the Hound's face. Right, and like he did, right? He looked like, and I was like, all right. So then, but then we go back to the lovely road where the odd couple.
So I want to say real quick, it's really funny watching the Hound like at this point, and then like what he becomes later of just like completely, just like fuck all this shit, like all this royalty, all this land is shit, like this is is all bullshit. And then I also thought it was interesting that there was a winner and a loser in this match, and the loser did not die, which was, kind of like what Ned Stark was trying to get at before. I'm sure people do die in these matches. It's not like it's not like it doesn't happen, but
right.
Probably not that often. I'm with you. Yeah, not that often.
So I think that's why Ned was really trying to drill it in. Like, okay, so this dude, Sir Hugh, he gets knighted, and then he dies right after Jon Arryn dies. Like, this is all pretty interesting. And why Sansa was freaking the fuck out. Like, this dude's going to die. Like, somebody just died last week. And both of them, Sir Gregor and Loras, end up just walking away from this. Like, one is pissed or whatever, but everybody's alive. So I think that's like.
And I think because with jousting, you lose just by falling or getting knocked off your horse. You don't necessarily have to get injured or get murdered
unless
or
it's a joust to the death, right? Like,
right. But I think you aim those joust lances at the other person's shield to knock them off the horse. You know what I'm saying?
Right. But in this situation, that's a good point that you brought up, Afro. In this situation, it was going to be the winner was going to lose. The winner was going to die.
Right.
Like, it was a wrap. It was a total wrap for Loras in this situation.
Yeah.
Like, Ned was trying to express that the whole time. Like, we don't play around like this. We don't have Burning Men festivals. We actually burn men. So, we don't play like this. So then we cut to Tyrion. Huh? Yes, something? No, I think Tyrion and Cat on the road, and just seeing this, the first thing that popped in my head was like, again, Catelyn just making her own whack-ass decisions, putting some very terrible things into play.
In motion.
So,
she is definitely
Cat. So they stopped for a little break.
But wait. No, I'm sorry. I want you to. But when we look back on it, you clearly see a lot of fault. We see a lot of things that led to a long line of things.
Real shit? Castro, hold up. On some real shit?
Yeah.
We saw fault the first time around. Not with some of this stuff, but there are some things in second and third season we're like, come on. Like, we saw that she was fucking up. We really
we get, but I mean, like, but every move, she didn't get a good move. You know what I'm saying? From going on the road, getting taking Tyrion, every move, going to her sisters, every move. Whoa.
No good moves. Good moves. It was like Tyrion 1.0. She was no good moves for Cat at all.
Right. Yeah.
Well, I think that what that means is that Tyrion went full Cat, because she did that first.
In season 7, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Tyrion went full Cat. Yes.
Tyrion went full Cat.
You never go full Cat.
And it was like, they were both walking into a bar like, I'm just here to fuck shit up. They're not here to help anything. I'm just here to fuck shit up.
And remember that Cat is the most, Ned, like throwing the, she's kind of, to me, she seems so fired up about the whole thing and so eager to believe her sister that she went to these lengths to where we're at now. And,
Castro, let's think about it. Yeah. What isn't Cat fired up about? She's fired up about everything.
Right, she always is turned up. She was always turned up.
Cat is... Cat is turned up, but she's always also on some mama bear shit. Like, I really don't think that if Bran wasn't fucking knocked out of a window and then somebody tried to come and attack him, I don't think she would have been going through these extremes because her sister sent her a note. I think she would have been at home chilling, honestly.
Okay.
She'd have been at home chilling.
She probably would have still been home chilling if that dude didn't come in and try and kill her and Bran.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
I absolutely
No, definitely think we let her down there, but she was turned up. Like, later on, we see her with Renly. Like, every time, she's turned all the way up.
Yeah,
she was turned up.
Has to lock her up. Her son
Cat was
has to
turned
lock
up
her
from
up
the day.
to shut her down a little bit. Like, that's kind of crazy.
Cat was turned up Cat was
well, at that point, she's been through a lot. Right. I'm not saying it's right, but I'm just saying that.
Y'all hear what Ann said?
Yes, I did.
Say it again, Ann.
What?
Say it again. For the listeners.
Cat has been turned since the day Ned came home with John. That was it.
Yeah.
That was it. It was like flipping over the coffee table.
I mean, what are we calling turn? Like, go fucking capture Tyrion Lannister turn? Like, that for me is turn, right? Like,
that's right.
I think being
at home being mad and not fucking with Jon Snow is one level, okay? And that is some, like, that shit happen every day, B. Like, that's some shit. And, like,
I don't fuck with Jon every day.
Struggle.
Exactly. I ain't trying to deal with your illegitimate baby. Fine. That shit happens.
I think.
But, like, out here in the streets, like, fucking capturing people and taking people as your hostage, like, this is another level, and this is what I'm saying. This is some mama bear shit. This wouldn't have been happening if Bran hadn't got pushed out a window, which was already questionable, which she was kind of like, I don't know. Let me see. Then your sister sends you this letter, and you're like, okay, something's going on.
And she finds the hair.
This motherfucker comes and tries to attack your son in the middle of the night while you happen to be in the room. And there's a forest fire off of yonder, like, that's her level of turn. Like, that's why she's turned.
Yes.
This ain't no regular. I need us to all agree this is some extreme shit. She's like,
no,
absolutely.
Right. There are
absolutely,
we're saying that. But she has been, all we're just alluding to is once she trips at the top of that mountain, she's all the way downhill. She's rolling head over foot.
Oh, yeah. She definitely has not been thinking clearly. None of these are good decisions.
When we really get into the weeds of her and what she goes through, she gets all the way in. And so, Lord, say enough. Like that.
Because think about it. Think about it. She was prepared to ride the King's Landing by herself. Cat, what are you talking about?
I know what I'm
doing.
Well, I think you know what that was. That was the naivete that I used to wear these shoes. I'm a Tully. I used to be able to do this like nothing. I'm gonna do it again.
I used to run these
Girl,
shoes.
you've been raising kids, and I'm not belittling. You've been raising kids for 18 years. You ain't been doing that in a while. You ain't been running around in the night. In the cover of night, you ain't been doing that in a while.
My man said in the cover of night.
She got the y'all didn't grab that. She got the big green hood on. What are you, Robin Hood? You running off like no. Girl, let Sir Roderick walk you in a carriage and a caravan with guards on either side. Like that's what you're supposed to be doing. That's what we sneaking around at night. Lord of mercy, man.
He couldn't trust a raven with these words.
Because that ain't what started all this. No, man, I don't trust. Yeah, she wrote everywhere. She didn't use a raven for shit, yo. She used a raven for shit.
I'm busy.
She wrote to her sister. She wrote to where Ned was. She didn't use one damn raven for shit.
And that's why when we get to Bronn later, that's why he mad as shit, or Bran. He's pissed.
She ain't been home. She ain't seen
what?
Another.
What?
No.
She couldn't do what?
Yeah.
Yo, Brad,
can't wait to get there. Okay. Let's get it back on track. Let's get it back on track.
So they stopped for a break. And then the annoying. First off, why do you have this dude as part of the caravan? I don't.
Wait, what?
The lute player. The lute player.
Oh. The guy singing songs as part of the caravan. I don't understand.
Oh, Castro.
Is it? Yes, me.
Yeah.
Isn't he asking for money too? Isn't part of the singing like getting a couple of shekels every once in a while?
Yeah, like
people
first.
No.
Listen, here's the thing.
You rolling around with royalty. You probably eat free. You know.
Yeah. But they
get comp.
You get comp.
You getting comp?
Yeah, exactly.
You got comp meals. Comp lodging.
I'm crying. I want my Skittles. Take all the blue ones out. I don't want no blue Skittles. No blue Skittles. So,
he said it's his per diem. I'm done.
So they picked him up at the end, right? So we decide at the end, now that we've taken a prisoner, make sure we got somebody to handle the aux cord. That's the decision?
Wow. That's definitely... I don't know how that happened, but I will tell you that as soon as this scene started, the first thing I said was, "Oh, poor Tyrion. He's up here tied up. He on his horse. He just got to trust that people are getting him around okay. They covered his fucking head up." And I'm like, where the fuck is this music coming from? And I'm like, Game of Thrones, Game of Thrones. That's Castro. Like, that is fucking Castro. This is what you would have been doing then.
Oh, my God.
Like I was doing a little skip, like I was playing a lute, like Russell Wilson touchdown celebration.
Oh, shit.
Oh, man. And you know Brown wanted to chop his head off, but go ahead.
Yeah,
right.
Definitely.
He's annoying. He's just annoying. So, they stop for a break. They bring Tyrion off the horse, take the hood off him. And, they're going back and forth a little bit. And Tyrion's getting his surroundings. And, as he's asking, why don't you untie me? He's like, why would I do that? He's like, because where am I going to go? Like, we're surrounded by hills people. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, I recognize this road. We on the way to your sister crib. Immediately, I'm like, yo, Tyrion is
the fucking man.
Yo, Tyrion gets around, fam. Like, you just recognize the road immediately. You know where you head. What?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, all right. I ain't mad at you. So,
and he's like, hey, yo, when the last time you talked to your sister?
Exactly. This ain't the same sister you think it is.
Right.
Right.
Dead ass answered him too. She was like, 5 years ago. He's like,
Yes.
girl.
He was like, you ain't knowing nothing right now.
Right. And then we get that was kind of one of our first glimpses into that quizzical, I thought I knew what the fuck I was doing look that Kat gives us for the next couple of seasons. When someone asks her something, she no, Kat.
She certainly answers very confidently, though. She was like, it's been about 5 years. Like, very matter of fact.
Yeah, that's what Sansa. That's what Sansa gets.
I'll just be honest. Yeah.
But I'm wondering, is that common back then to I guess you get married and all that in that era, and you just leave your family almost completely, right? So it's probably pretty.
Yeah, you're going all the way somewhere else. Like you're all the women are traveling to different lands,
Yeah, to be with their new mate. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
So I would like to bring up in this scene that Tyrion had a very bratty kind of moment of wait until my father finds out about this, and you are gonna,
MO.
Yeah.
That's Tyrion's MO of hey, you guys remember I'm a Lannister, right? Like, my dad's going to be real pissed. And then later on, he's like, you know who my sister is, right? Like, that's his MO.
Yeah.
Y'all forgetting who I'm, I might be the little one, but I'm still one of them.
Yeah.
Hella
you guys
bratty.
are going to get in trouble. My dad owns a dealership. You guys are going to get in trouble. I don't know what
Thank you, Em. That's exactly what I was Yeah, man. It was definitely one of those moments. I was like, ooh, I forgot about that, Tyrion. That's right. But, that you are, the least favorite Lannister. The rest of the family doesn't really care about you except for Jaime. So that's what you really should be saying.
Yeah, he should really realize that. But what he thinks is that no matter what, I'm still one of them. They'll pay for me. But really, he needs to be like, hey, I don't even really like those guys. They're total assholes.
Right. But he definitely uses that name as currency and always has.
Yes.
As he goes
in every way.
Smash.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So all the other houses respect that name, and they'll let them stay for free, and open the doors and open the kitchens and whatever else for them. So,
right.
Yeah.
So after that, they get ambushed. Hey.
All right. So. Oh my God! And they're y'all, it took me a couple of seconds to catch it, right? Right. And I'm sitting there This motherfucker popping his collar like Fonzie right now. So,
man.
okay, so they get ambushed.
Am I right?
It's not a good word, Am. It's not a good word used in this context there. It's not like, you know what I'm saying?
I just feel like
you don't release the doves during the
end. It's accurate.
Yeah, and it does. So as Tyrion alluded to, if you let him just untie him, the Hills people will kill him. And here come the Hill tribe. They come over the little mountains and little hills they have.
Hit them with the heat.
Weren't they shooting arrows at rocks? They didn't seem like one thing I first noticed was like it wasn't too coordinated in fact. And then they start but they're coming from all sides. So now we get to see Bronn shows us what he's working with, and he's blessed, as Bernie Mac used to say. He had
oh shit. I'm hung, baby.
And you know, I love sex, you know, and I'm blessed. He used to rub his hand over top of it. That was my
yes.
All right, Bernie Mac.
Bernie Mac.
I miss him so much.
Yo.
And this is when he was wearing that full jumper with his face on one of the legs of the jumper.
Yes.
Yes. He had a pair of jeans like that too.
Yes.
A pair of jeans and a shirt.
And a shirt,
yeah. Always cursing out the crowd like, I ain't scared of you, motherfucker.
Motherfucker.
That fool said, kick it.
Yeah, kick it. Him and Kick repeat his little quick joke, and he just said, kick it.
Yes.
Oh, man. So if anybody has it.
And then start dancing.
If anybody has
yes.
I'll do that. So, again, if anybody hasn't, the Def Comedy Jam 25th anniversary, it's an excellent show. I was crying during half of the show. A lot of people, Ricky Harris will have passed. And not the people you remember, the people you don't remember the past. Like, oh, my God, I used to watch all of them. And a lot of clips of episodes that we all find are familiar. So just to our listeners, if you get a chance, or any of us, go check out that show
a couple shows ago? Because I
think you might have. You did.
They owe us some money.
No, he did. And he was doing a reminder. He did say again. So I think he was playing off of that.
No, I wasn't.
So Def Comedy Jam owe us some money because at this point, it's like sponsored content.
Man, this is a really good point.
But it's really excellent special just to bring it all back. So the melee is happening. Tyrion also shows his resourcefulness. He runs over the cat, says, "Untie me, like let the little man help." And he actually ends up saving Cat because the guy that's actually tasked with protecting Cat, he's preoccupied. He gets sliced up a little tiny bit, and so somebody comes over and tries to get Catelyn. Tyrion grabs a shield that happens to have a pointy end to the bottom, which is the traditional Lannister shield I want to mention, because he knows how to handle this type of shield. So he parries the swing, he blocks it, and then he takes that pointed side and rams it into this attacker's face over and over and over again to actually save
multiple times.
Finish. Yes. Bronn is slicing people up, cutting them up. Roderick gets his upper hand and starts killing the people that were coming at him. And then we look, and the melee is over, and we have some survivors. And
so there was a moment, though, where Tyrion was trying to figure out if he wanted to roll out.
Yeah, sorry. Thank you for bringing that up. So he's looking at the horse, he's looking at Catelyn, and he had a little moment, but then he definitely does the better thing. So we're learning things about Tyrion in this melee. He had an opportunity to run on the horse and ride out in the chaos, but he didn't. So then it's also a moment where Tyrion and Bronn finally start their connection. You just kind of see the electricity on the screen crackling between them. And Bronn says, yeah, you need a woman. And Tyrion's kind of a little so winded, like, He's like, yeah, it's nothing like a woman after a fight. And then they kind of just, I think there's words, but to me the scene is a bunch of grunts, like men grunting. It just felt like that moment. After the big battle, just a bunch of grunts because we know y'all think that we talk like that, just grunting at each other.
Y'all do talk like that.
No, we use our words. So we do use our words.
Okay.
So then now that smoke clears. Now what we don't kind of notice because it just is a show is. Well, how many people in their caravan did they lose? It only looked like 4 or 5 people. You saw there was one guy on the bottom right kind of, like limping off. I think
Orc scored.
Orc scored. No, but Beard Knot was still there. Yeah, Orcscore definitely probably took the L because I don't even think he had a weapon on him. And Beard Knot, he said, "I'm fine, my lady," but he actually was kind of a little hurt because he did wince, but he didn't want the word. And that is the fights on the road. So then they continue on.
But 1 second before we move on, there was something in the conversation between Tyrion and Cat right before the fight broke off. I forgot to mention when Tyrion is actually talking to them about him not being the murderer, him not, him being them having the wrong idea about him. He was like, what murderer would use his own? What murderer would send an assassin with his own blade? And
to trace it right back to him. Right.
So that's when Beard Knot's like, you want me to just kill him now? And Tyrion's like, why? Because I'm starting to make sense. It was another one of those quizzical looks from Cat, like,
Shit, you kind of are.
Yeah, making a little bit of sense. Oh, now we're being ambushed, and then he didn't really have a chance. He didn't have a chance to even continue that conversation before
right
that popped off. Yeah, but then we're back.
I wanted to bring up Tyrion and Bronn because one is the whole grunts thing you were talking about. Was another thing that was mentioned was he, like you say, Bronn was like, it's nothing like a woman after a battle, and Tyrion looks at Kat and he's like, I'm down if she is, or something like that.
He did say that. No, he's back
with
that.
Oh, wow.
Cackles. Yes, he did say that. Great catch, Ab. I would have totally
I did
not catch that.
I'm game if she's game. Yeah, I'm game.
I'm game. Exactly. I'm game if she is.
Exactly. I'm game if she's game.
Tripping.
Because she's the only one, because Bronn was talking more in the general, but Tyrion was like, well, right there.
Well, right now, she's the only woman here.
And of course not. Exactly. She's a queen. She's a lady of Winterfell. Of course not. But that was the joke, and that was another connective tissue with them.
Exactly. And so that's also what I was gonna say was that Tyrion and Bronn are kind of like those. If you ever just like met somebody that you just like click with right away, like they get your jokes, you get theirs, blah blah blah. You're like, we should be homies. Like we gotta hang out. So I feel like that's what happened with Tyrion and Bronn, which I forgot about because, not to get too far ahead, but when Bronn ends up, like, helping Tyrion out in the next couple of episodes, I didn't really remember what propelled him to just, like, stand up and be like, I got you.
Right.
So,
right.
It was, like, kind of
I forgot how he even was there. I kind of forgot how he was in
there. I forgot how he was
what
there.
What was he doing there?
Yeah.
Like, when he said, I'll fight for you, we're not jumping too far ahead. What was he even doing there? And this brought it right back that he joined.
Right, to like how it all came to be and how they.
Look at that. Because he just happened to be in the inn, right? It wasn't anything. He wasn't coming from a fight or anything. He was just happened to be there.
Yeah, he was. Exactly.
Right.
Yep. Right.
He does shit for the money.
Smart.
So we get back to Winterfell and Bran is studying, and Theon is shooting arrows. And Bran wants nothing to do with any of this. Nobody's addressing any of Bran's real concerns. So he's just or needs, yeah. He's just completely pissed all the time. So they're going through the motions of it all, but he's definitely not there for it. And when they get to a part where saying a house's sigil and their tagline, he's going rogue. He's just going off script all the way, like following none of the directions, naming all the houses other than the one he's supposed to. And he stumbles upon family, duty, honor, which is the Tullys, which is his mother. And he's like, yeah, family, duty, honor. Family comes first, right? So where's she at?
Where's she at, though?
Where's she at then? Because she ain't been here. And I always forget this man's name. What's that man's name?
Oh, that Maester Lewin, yeah.
Maester Lewin, thank you. Maester Lewin is like, she's protecting the family. She had to go. And he's like, how do you protect something if you're not by it? And I ain't buying it. Nope. She out there doing some other shit, hood rat shit with her friends, not taking care of me, not paying attention to our family. And he gives them as much game as he can. He's like, she's out there trying to do this shit. Chill the fuck out. She'll be back, I promise. And Bran's like, oh, yeah? How long has she been? Have you heard from her since she's been gone? And he's like, no, I haven't. And he's like, sweet, so how can you promise me that? He's like, fine.
He's not for
I don't have an answer to that. Yeah, no. He's the kid that you're like, why do you still have a question? How could you possibly be asking another question right now? Stop
Why
it.
is your hand up again? Why do you have your hand up?
I dismissed the class. Why are you still here?
He's the kid you have to end it with because I said so. Because there's no other governing science rule in the universe that's going to answer this
I'm the
question.
parent. Right.
Because I said so. Yeah.
Right.
Enough.
Because I'm the adult. Shut the fuck up. So
I remember my mom saying, because I said so, you used to wreck my universe. Because I was a logic kid. I was like, oh, what do you mean? Because you said so. What is going on? Sorry.
What does that really mean?
Right. What rule book is this coming from? Rule book.
So they start talking about Cat, but somehow they get distracted. Like Bran is totally like, I'll never shoot arrows ever again. And he's like, oh, I don't know, maybe, that saddle that Lord Tyrion drew up for you, maybe that'll work. The Dothraki boys learned how to shoot an arrow on horseback at 4. And that's where I want to sit for a second. What the fuck?
Let's just park it here for a moment.
Let's park it real fast. What, 4 years old? You are learning, not only are you riding a horse, but you're shooting shit from it. That's insane.
Yeah. They let us know the Dothrakis were G's this early.
Exactly.
Like, play if you want.
So early. And they're fucking terrified of them. So that's also very clear.
They're like,
So anyway. Yeah, totally.
So I have many thoughts in this area.
Oh, yes.
So I feel like Bran is in this space because no one is talking to him about anything. There's also no women around. Like, Arya's gone, Sansa's gone, Kat's gone. And I think that if you have a nice balance of masculine and feminine, you get, like, someone who will explain stuff to you and tell you a little bit more about, like, what's going on. Like, masculine energy will just ignore everything and be like, business as usual, wake up, go to school, keep it moving. Just act like none of this is happening. No, your mom hasn't been gone for 2 months. It's fine.
Walk it off.
It's totally fine.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the realest shit ever. Yes.
Listen, y'all. So when I was younger, I was playing baseball. Really quick tangent. And when you're playing baseball, there's supposed to be a protective piece on your ear when you're batting on your opposite side of the hand you bat on. So I'm a right-handed batter, so there should be like a piece on the left side of the helmet to protect you if the ball gets out of some other very young kid throwing a baseball at your face. And so they ran out of helmets on my protective side, right? And so I get up there a little fearful. I always kind of was scared of the ball. That's why I couldn't really play baseball. I would catch and move myself out the way in any way. So I'm up there to bat. And, of course, because I'm not wearing the protective thing, and this might lead to some conclusions that Afro can make later as to why I am the way I am. Skid threw the ball. First pitch, took it in like a champ, took a ball. He threw the second pitch. I stayed in there. They teach you stay in the box, and it cracks me right in the spot that is not protected.
Oh, my God.
I go down, you're playing on
this is awful.
Football field. But they're kept up, they're not kept. It's just like this cloud of dust rises up on me. And I get up, and the field is kind of spinning, my head is banging, and the coach just starts this clap. Walk it off, McDaniel. Walk it off. Walk it off. Take it away.
All this time you've had CTE?
Right? All these years, this back coach. And, yeah.
God bless it.
Because I remember being very upset at my coach. Like, wait, this baseball hit me in my fucking head. Like, I want to go sit on the side. I'm 8 years old.
You had no emotions because you couldn't hear him. You didn't.
Right. That was the solution.
Like, all I can hear is this ringing in my ears, Coach. What are you clapping about?
Right. That was back then. That was the coach's solution. All coaches around that time. We heard about concussions. We don't want these kids to fall asleep and on our watch. Walk it off. Just keep moving around.
Walk it off.
Because that'll let everyone know that you're still okay. You're actually okay.
You're injured. And you're injured. Waist up. Your injury is from your waist up. Walk it off. What the hell? What is that?
So that way, if we get home and you start bleeding from your ears, well, he was fine at the game. He was fine after practice. He was walking around the whole time. You get home and you pass out.
He did laugh.
Yeah. He's all right.
This is all when all the little coaches of Little League sit down. This is how to avoid a lawsuit. Get the kid away from you as fast as possible. So, yeah, we are very cold. And we are very cold to one another. Walk it off is a mantra you hear from
pretty much.
Very young. Sorry, y'all.
So, yeah, Bran's been told to walk it off, and he just, can't take that shit no more. So it comes out in this, studying lesson. And the other thing that came out was, so in the beginning, he's asking him about different houses. Actually, the scene opens up, and they're talking about the Greyjoys, or House of Greyjoy, I should say. And Theon's about to shoot an arrow, and he's like, yeah, the Greyjoys are known for this. Their he's like navigation, their arrow skills, and being excellent lovemakers. And Maester Lewin rolls his eyes and says something to the effect of and losing rebellions. Anyway.
Oops.
And I was like, whoa, that was a great quick comeback. So that was really nice.
Dynamite. You got tough skills and bow and arrow skills, and you don't sit down somewhere. Don't sit your dumbass down somewhere. What's wrong with you? So then we cut into. Oh, go ahead. You have more?
I'm sorry. One thing, real quick. Last thing is that this inspired me to look up all of the house words, because that's when Bran had his little meltdown. He was like, what are the Lannisters' house words? And Bran's like, what's the Lannisters? What do they always say? A Lannister never always pays his debt.
A Lannister always pays their debts.
But that's
right. And Bran's like, and Maester Lewin's like, no, they commonly say that, but that's not actually what their house words are. And so he kept asking him over and over again, which he never actually said. So I looked it up. And so I figured we could play a little game really quick. Castro, give me some music.
Not too ready?
Thank you, Castro.
I was too ready.
Now, I will tell you guys 3. Okay. So I have about 6 here, but I'll do 3, and you guys I'll give you multiple choice of whose house it's from. Okay?
Right. Let's go.
All right. Growing strong. Is that Baratheons, Tyrells, or Lannisters?
Baratheons.
Tyrell.
Tyrell
is correct. Ding, 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 ding. Okay.
I have music for when we get it wrong, too. I have music for that, too.
Oh, okay. Good. Okay.
I'm ready.
We do not sow. Is that Greyjoy, Lannister, or Baratheon?
Greyjoy.
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 Greyjoy is correct.
Yes, Greyjoy.
And our last one, Hear Me Roar. Is that Baratheon, Lannister, or Hornwood?
Lannister.
Hear Me Roar.
Lannister.
Lannister is correct, guys. We are fucking beasts over here. Don't play with us.
Look at that. They're amazing.
And
all right.
For anybody that cares, if we got one wrong, it went.
Oh, I was actually curious about that. Thank you.
I was too.
He's our music director. He is amazing.
All right, so let's keep it moving. Theon gets some nani.
Yeah, and Theon is going at it like he has a point to prove.
Wait, Am, I just have to do this first.
Okay.
I have to do this first. These are some of the best notes ever in the history of note taking.
I drew my inspiration from Morgan.
No, it's not like that. I love when everybody does it. I've done it. Morgan does it. You do it. But this one right here, this note, and I'm not going to share it with our listeners. I'm going to let Ann pontificate. This is great. Like this is. Yeah. So, Am, if you will, Am, if you could just work, if you could work this somehow into the like some of the promo, I would greatly appreciate if you could work this particular note into the promo.
Oh, that would be funny. Excellent. That would be funny.
Now, when I see the scene, I'm thinking of everything that Ash was notating as the scene is going on.
Thanks, Castro.
So Theon's going at it like he has something to prove. Like he is still thinking about Tyrion while he's going at Raz, while he's smashing Raz. It's like an angry fuck. No, it's not like an angry fuck. It's an angry fuck. It's
there we go.
Yeah, it's full fledged. And
full fledged.
And the proof that he's going at Raz, thinking about Tyrion, is he immediately brings him up. He immediately brings him up. Who's it, Em? She didn't bring him up. She's talking about smashing other dudes and lords and he's a half lord. If you want to call him that, he'd be a half lord. So tell me, what's it like smashing the end? And she's like, oh well, dude is nice, and he's nice with his fingers.
And his tongue.
Wait. So do y'all think that the verdict, the Society for the Vertically Challenged, do you think they formally asked the show to stop disparaging people of height issues and stuff? Do you think they boycotted the show or wrote a letter?
This has been a real social issues call today, guys. This is interesting.
It is.
I'm just wondering, do you think that they were offended? No, I'm joking, but I'm also being serious. Do you think they were offended by Tyrion's portrayal just in these first couple of episodes? Everybody, poking fun at him and stuff. Do you think that they filed a formal complaint?
No, I think that is probably a very accurate depiction of how someone like that is treated. So I don't know if offense is the way that it would go.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And they get immediate vindication with who he is so far.
Yes.
Like Tyrion is great. You know what I mean? So far he's fucking great. So it's immediate vindication of see what you do, all this bullshit, and I'm way a great person. Immediate.
Yeah.
So I don't know if there was a complaint. I don't know what. I don't want to act like there couldn't be.
So Theon is obsessed with trying to prove that he's the better man sexually than Tyrion. And Raz is just having a ball with him. She's poking fun. She's having a ball with him. And I can't remember how they got to mentioning Theon, bragging that, I'm a Greyjoy. And, Greyjoys, we stand for this and we stand for that.
Yeah.
And she was like, y'all stand for losing rebellions last time I checked. And then he was like, well, what have you ever fought for? My father fought for our family. What did your father fight for? And she ended up, he referenced himself as a ward. And I forgot, what exactly did she say? She's like, that's a funny name for something else.
Yeah, she said that's a funny thing to call it. A funny name to call it.
Yeah.
Because you said or a funny thing to call him. He called Ned Lord, and he was like, "Oh, that's a funny thing to call him."
Right, because he's you're his captive. Everybody kind of finds Theon that you're a captive, not like somebody vacationing in Caicos.
Right.
So what we see from this conversation, is how Roz is just able to just cat and mouse him the entire time. Because the second that he actually grips her up, then she flips it right around like, you're what she said, you're an angry boy with a big cock or some shit like that. She flips it around.
Yeah. She still finds a way to compliment him and kind of like.
She's good at what she does, and then that's what gets her moving forward to getting that position with Littlefinger. That's why I'm not jumping ahead. I just have to say it. I was thrown when she was just killed that way because I thought she had a major part to play moving on forward, coming from Winterfell, making it to King's Landing, being adept at being a good call girl and a confidant for Littlefinger. Go ahead.
Real quick, you can't just saying the words, I'm not jumping too far ahead, and then revealing a death.
No, it's just like when you say to your parents, excuse part of my language, and then curse. Right?
Yeah.
Then you still curse.
You
don't really mean it.
Except for
it all goes back to sorry, not sorry. It all goes back to sorry.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. All right.
So we learned today, guys.
We said that this is a spoiler-ish.
It's not about a spoiler. It wasn't about a spoiler. The entire point was you said I'm not jumping too far ahead, and then how far did you go? You went kind of far.
Af said that's what I say. That's my tagline. I'm trying to keep it up for the listeners. I want them to know.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
I want to stay in my place.
Fair enough.
Right.
Let me stay in mine and be quiet.
Then we cut to Lord Varys asking about Bran.
Okay. So I just want to say this. The door is like a fortified door, big piece of wood with the metal rivets and all that stuff. So yes, I think that can stop the sound. Ned has his guard Jory standing like right out front, but those windows he was closing, they had all these little holes in there. So I just thought it was silly that he was closing.
They were stutter. Yeah. Well, I think the windows.
Secretive.
The windows was more about not letting.
Yeah,
not letting people see Varys in Ned's chambers.
Okay.
And then
I thought it was like a sound
quiet
thing.
enough. No, I think that Varys thinks he's quiet enough that people won't hear him. You know what I mean? Like
speaking in that tone,
yeah. In that whispery tone.
Okay,
he wasn't worried about the sound. That was about Littlefinger not seeing him in there. The thing that didn't make sense to me about that is why is it you closing the fucking window? Like, guess what I saw you do today? Close the windows in the
while you were in the Hand's chambers. That was my point too about you're talking, and I think somebody can hear you. You're not really going to a secure place to really not be. All right.
Right.
So then he feigns concern for Bran. Well, how's the little one doing? He don't really give a fuck, and Ned knows that. And then
Can I interject really quick?
Yes, please.
Just really quick, because I had a different take on it in that moment on the rewatch, not the first time.
Okay.
And my take of him asking at very first when he was like, "And how's your son?" I was like, "Womp womp." But then when Ned says he'll never walk again, Varys said, "But his mind is sound," and I thought that could have meant something. Like I could totally be wrong, but.
No, but
right,
there's two things.
Because then Bran becomes what he becomes.
Right,
so,
right. But there's two things with that. He becomes what he becomes, but also this is Varys alluding to what his major strength and his survival was based on his intellect and carrying him through and being able to outsmart and outwit people. So I think he was asking him that, like, is his mind still sound? Then the boy will be all right. You know what I mean? Like I was.
I think he was also asking to see if he remembered anything, because we've all come to the conclusion that Bran is pretending like he doesn't remember what the fuck happened.
Doesn't remember shit. Yeah.
Right.
Yep. Just help me out. We have some quotes, and I can't remember how they came up. I know the Tears of Leaf is going towards Jon Arryn that gets brought up, but they sing no songs for spiders, meaning like nobody would care if something happens to him. Is that what he's?
Yeah, Varys was talking about how, if somebody knew that he was sharing that information with Ned, he could be killed, and they sing no songs for spiders.
Okay. So then they get to speaking to Jon Arryn. Suspicion of like poison. Everybody's kind of like, maybe. But Ned is trying to figure out what Jon was doing in his last days. Isn't it? All right, so help me out, y'all.
Wait.
Yeah, I know.
I'm sorry. Real quick. Varys told Ned he was poisoned. Like, that's what Varys revealed. He basically was like, hey, that was a poison that is like water. It's odorless and tasteless, and it can't be detected, and your boy was killed, and was going on to say that Robert is headed towards the same fate.
Okay. So to even further the hypothesis, do you think that Ned picked up how active Jon Arryn was the day or two before he died, like running around, asking questions, checking on bastards, and then he fell ill, and then they said it rushed through him? I thought that was Ned was also picking up that he was of able body before all of this happened. So
definitely.
more.
Yeah, like I think that Ned has been. Yeah, I think Ned's been questioning
that's the most up to. Like him being sick, but him running around, like all of that, doing all that, like literally the day before he fell ill and died. He saw the butcher's boy. I mean, not the butcher. He saw Gendry, and he was very active, and Ned is finding out, asking about things. But I just think that's funny that nobody noticed that he was pretty active before he just fell ill and died. Not like he was getting sick, or he was sick for a while. You know what I mean?
But that speaks to the point that people just go, oh, okay, someone died? Okay, moving on.
Okay. So then, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm really drawing a blank on this scene. So he's asking about Jon Arryn, his last couple of acts. Now, is this does Varys tell about the book, or he just tells more about what Jon Arryn was investigating? Anybody can jump in here.
I think Varys is saying what Morgan just said. Like, he's confirming that he was poisoned. He talks about what kind of poison was used. And then he's like, he was asking a lot of the same questions that you've been asking. Or just in general, he was asking a bunch of questions. So you might want to chill a little bit, because you won't be able to smell this poison when it come up on you.
As a warning,
is that
yes.
What you got,
as a warning.
Right. Yes, that's exactly it.
Okay. Thank you. That's what I was trying to figure out. I just, okay. So it's just becoming, we're, as the viewers, we're learning that it's becoming more and more likely he was poisoned and this sickness thing was nothing. So that, I think it's clever bringing this up now, because it makes you think that Lysa has something. So when we get to these later scenes with her, we are assuming that this is a regular person who was scared and discovered something. We come to find out it's a little bit more complicated than that.
Just a fact.
So then we cut to Arya taking Serial Pharrell's instructions seriously, and she's chasing cats.
Yes, she's chasing cats, which they show right before. They show her chasing the cat right before the last scene, but then after that scene, they show her actually going down into the I want to say basement, but it's more like a not a dungeon.
I think we can say dungeon, because it's not a crypt, but it's a dungeon with catacombs. Like the little storage. Catacombs, yeah, where you put the storage, last year's tax returns, shit like that. They're down there.
And she is. She's genuinely chasing the cat, trying to get better with her dancing lessons, and hears voices and decides to hide, and that's where she sees, well, she can't make out that it's Varys and this other guy, but she sees
the guy from Essos.
Right, the guy from Essos.
The guy
okay,
from
so who is he?
Pentos. So he's the guy that helped smuggle the Targaryen kids when they were younger, and he's been keeping them this whole time.
Yeah,
they've been kind of staying with him.
First episode.
But they've been staying with him throughout this whole exile. They've been living over there, and he's also Varys' man. I can't remember his name, but it's Pentos. He's in Pentos. So that was the guy. So he made it over there to King's Landing to probably debrief Varys, and then probably went back.
Okay, after. So that makes perfect sense then why he would be giving that information to him. Okay. So, yeah, he's pretty much just, like, going through things that we already know. He's talking about all of Robert's bastards. He's talking about the book that Ned has been looking through of, like, royal lineage and whatnot. He talks about Drogo. And he says that, you know, essentially like some sort of war is coming, and, you know, but you just see that he's like dropping knowledge, or not even knowledge. He's just like gossiping pretty much and putting his homeboy on to what's going on.
Isn't that also the point when he says the lion, he references the lion and the wolf are going to go at each other, you know, and it was like a war is coming. So
a war is coming.
He's recognizing that
like
those two.
Curated.
Yes. Exactly what I was going to say. So anyway, could move on.
Anyone can feel free to expand on that.
Wait, but say that one part again. You just said he almost seems like he's looking forward to it or something.
Like it's curated, like it's manipulated, like he and some other people have put these pieces in play, which, I mean, not to skip ahead, no, I'm kidding, but later we learned that there are other people that had hands in all these things that have been happening, right? But at that moment, listening to Varys talk and share it with this guy from Pentos, it almost sounds like he has had a hand in, it sounds curated, it sounds like manufactured.
Oh, curated.
It's all,
so I wanted to add.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, so curated, what you said. So I wanted to ask, didn't it seem, I mean, we're just the viewers going along for the ride, but definitely it seemed like everybody was going to gain from this Stark versus Lannister thing, because that's where it seemed like we were all headed, right?
Yeah.
When we first watched
we got to remember, Varys wanted Daenerys on the throne all this time, so he was going to want the Stark and Lannisters to destroy each other. So, that definitely made sense.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and then from there, Varys and Littlefinger meet in the Great Hall in front of the Iron Throne.
Yo, so that was a very dope conversation. They start with, I guess, what could be considered, light conversation, going at each other. What did he say? He said something to him about. Oh, he said first one to be here, last one to leave. Varys says to Littlefinger, and then the conversation changes and they start talking. Littlefinger says something to him about coming to one of his brothels, and finding a little friend, finding one of your little, I think it's a little boy or something for him.
Yeah,
right. And Varys like, I feel like you're confusing business with pleasure here. That's not really my twist. You act like you know me. You don't really know my life. And then he was like, no.
Is that what he said?
He was like,
you know my life, boo-boo.
You don't really know my life, boo-boo. You don't even know my life, boo-boo. Like, he was like, he just, he was like, you saying I don't know your life, but I just think it's funny how every time one of your little spiders, it's a little boy. Like, all your little spiders are all little boys. So I feel like that's what you like to surround yourself with, because that's what you went to. So then Varys is like, well, again, you don't know my life, but I do hear that this other customer you have likes little girls. And another customer you have likes dead people. So that must be hard to come by, just to supply dead people. Yeah, how are you going to have fresh dead people?
Wait, doesn't he also say amputees? Is amputees part of his menu? Does he?
That is one of them. Yep.
Yeah.
It is. Ding, 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 ding.
So it's just like,
and you know what one of them is? Hold on, Am. It's bitch ass pots out. Probably one of them. Goddamn, they want
probably gross myself.
Fucking punk
So
ass.
they're just taking shots back and forth, and Varys starts to walk off, and I think Varys mentioned seeing Littlefinger earlier that day, talking to Ned, and then Littlefinger was like, "Yeah, huh?"
Wait, because the way they say it, he says,
like they both catch each other.
He goes, when was the last time you saw me or I saw you?
Right.
And that's when
he was like,
Littlefinger's like, oh, I saw you. Yeah, go ahead.
He was like, what was it, with your own eyes, or was it one of your birds or whatever? And then he was like, I saw you.
Or eyes you own.
Eyes you own. So he was like, I saw you talking to the Hand of the King. He was like, oh, you know what? I saw you in the Hand of the King's chambers earlier today, which goes right back to what Morgan was saying. How you closing the windows, but you don't want nobody to see you in there? So it didn't work because you were seen closing the windows in a room you didn't want to be in. So there's that. He world starred himself. World star. Nothing to see here. I'm just in the Hand of the King's office. I'm just closing windows. It's just Varys.
Because of course, if the Hand of the King closed his own windows, nobody would think that.
Right. But yeah. So then,
I love it.
So he's like, I saw you then, and then I don't know if you remember, like right after that, you were down in the catacombs talking to some dude from Pentos. And
from
look at Varys' face.
Look at my face. 2 snaps and a twist.
Yo, the look on Varys' face was like, oh shit, bruh. Listen, let's dial it all back. Let's dial it all back. I didn't know that shit I said before. You know what? You do know my life. You do know my life. And I didn't realize that you did. I'm sorry. My bad. He was shook. Yo, he was shook as shit. And Littlefinger goes on to say, I feel like people might think I'm a traitor if I don't let them know what your ass is up to, because me and you was boys, but the way you're moving right now. And then Renly comes in. What y'all two bitches talking about? What y'all two little motherfuckers about? What y'all doing?
And let me just add that Renly did not even wait to hear what they were talking about.
Nope. Right. It rolled on through. I'm rolling through. I'm rolling on this river. Where's Loras?
Where's Loras?
And he was like, yes, the meeting, we have news from across the sea. And then Varys looks back at Littlefinger and says, oh, you didn't hear?
It's from this tea. Lemon in this tea. Lemon. Yeah. He got money. Ooh,
oh, God.
My God.
We cut to Arya. She finds herself completely, locked out. Well, she came out of that like a sewer. It looked like onto the beach.
Yeah. So Arya in her hiding in the catacombs from Varys and Pentos' friend.
Because they locked the door. They locked the gate.
They locked the gate when they walked in, and then locked it again when they walked out. So she was just stuck, and so she had to find a way out. So she finds somehow a tunnel. She's dirty as shit. She looks like a homeless little boy. And this is our beginning of Arya being treated as such.
Yes. Foreshadowing.
And she makes it to the guards, and she's like, oh, hey, excuse me, let me by. And they're like, get out of here, you dirty boy. What are you doing? Go away. God, you're a nuisance. And she's like, I'm not a boy. And they're like, okay, I mean, you are, but whatever. Doesn't matter. Leave here. You're dirty and you're homeless. And she's like, my dad's going to be super pissed. She pulled a Tyrion and was like, my dad's going to be super pissed if you guys don't let me through. He is the hand of the king. I am Arya Stark. Again, I'm not a boy. I'm a girl. And let me through.
And
so
also, this is also the first of many curious, clever, and entertaining moments that Arya has at Gate as she travels through this realm. She has a couple. Some that even at the Vale, that's kind of funny. Later on.
Yeah.
You know what's real funny?
You
know what's real funny? Is that she didn't say, I'm a female. Okay?
No. That's just
I'm taking this. Is this another promo where we go everywhere? Like the racist. Is this the racist promo? Is it Am? Are you feeling that? Is that coming back? Another one?
Is that coming through?
I think that's the next promo. That whole conversation.
I just think it's funny how.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can't say female, though.
Mad ideas flowing through. Oh, my God.
So they let Arya through. They let Arya through, all for her to just be getting yelled at by Ned, who's like, damn, I had everybody, half my men out there looking for you. Where the hell you been? She was like, listen.
Listen, Daddy.
I got that. Daddy, sit down. I'm going to squeeze this lemon. You want 3 sugar cubes? Because I got that.
You want it all. I got it all, Dad. So if you just stop yelling and let me explain.
I'm not going to do the Wendy Fent. Wendy Fent. Y'all don't know what the Wendy Fent is?
I haven't a fucking clue what you just said.
Y'all don't know what the Wendy Fent is?
Oh, Wendy Fent?
Wendy Fent.
Like
y'all,
Wendy
you
Williams?
That's a new dance.
Oh, God. Fucking bless it.
Wendy Fent. Take your hand and put it up to your face. Make your eyes look like you see Duppy. And then fall. Wendy Fent.
No!
Wendy Fent.
No, what's happening? I feel like he's having a seizure, and we're just listening.
Game of Thrones.
That's like a whole reset button. When you want to stop Kente, when you want to stop Castro, press the damn button.
Yo, I am dead ass in the Mr. Crab meme right now. I have no idea how we got here.
She said it. She was
mortified.
She was like, no, Game of Thrones.
Wendy Fent.
Oh, fuck.
Come backwards. Lose your place.
No,
take your hand,
not
put it up by your face.
That's
Make your eye look like a see Duppy. And fall look like you're looking like a dead puppet.
It didn't work.
Wendy Fent.
Views expressed by Curly Gastro do not represent the greater collective of this podcast. That's no name.
Not at all.
Like ever, basically. Oh, my God.
Damn.
Oh, the tears are real. So there's that one.
This is gonna be. I'm gonna have a ball listening to this one back. Wait, I just want to ask everybody: is everybody caught up? Has everybody listened to each episode? Afro. Oh, we've done.
You guys, don't do that. Call me out. The answer is no. I'm not caught up with our own podcast.
Ain't nobody got time to listen to y'all little podcast.
Down the line. Wait. Down the line, Morgan.
Whatever.
Morgan, are you caught up?
I am caught up. I am caught up.
Am?
I mean, Am edited it, so I feel like that's like
to the whole episode.
Yeah, you don't get to ask Am.
Yeah.
He's a
I know. Oh, yeah, you're right. Sorry. Sorry, Am.
First of all, how dare you?
You're first of all,
sorry, so sorry.
First one,
like,
how dare you?
know it's everybody bro. Damn. Like, woo.
Yeah,
no, look, y'all, and I'm the worst because if you look at my queue, there's like 4 episodes where I've listened like 40 minutes of each. Like you see the little progress. It's like halfway through.
Oh, unbelievable!
Like from 3 episodes.
So if that counts as listening, then I'm with you, Castro. I'm at the same place. Make it through those.
I'm pretty sure that don't count as a real listen.
It doesn't count. All you gotta do is go through my podcast. You'll see my shame. You'll see my sins. Just look at progress. Shame.
Okay, we have to get back on track because we're already 10 minutes past a certain curfew. So we got to make moves. So Arya gets to Ned. She's like, shit, I got to tell you everything. Let me download this real quick. And he's like, nah, I still got to yell at you because you was my daughter. And then she's like, wait, but listen, Dave's about to try and kill you or Robert or something because of shit. And then there's a Dothraki person somewhere, a savage, I don't know. They said savage a bunch. And then they also said something about this. And they also said, like, she had no idea what was any of it, you know, but she gave it all back to Ned the way that it went into her brain, which was just a jumbled fucking mess. But she knew she had to get that out. She knew that there was something really important about something really important about what she had just heard, and she didn't know what else to do.
Also, Morgan knows child speak.
Yeah.
Daily.
That was great.
Yeah.
That was great.
Thank you.
And then.
Well. So Ned is truly the Mr. Crab meme. He doesn't understand what the fuck is going on. He's so confused. And Jordan comes in, and he's like, hey, guys, I really need to talk with the hand real bad. Who's the dirty little boy? Oh, looks like your son. This must be your son. He's like, this must be your son. He looks just like you. Deadass says, you got the look.
Does Cat know? Oh, God.
Right. Oh, this must be your boy. And Arya, again, I'm a girl. So, I'm sorry. I keep forgetting Ned Squire's name. I know that he's not really a squire.
Jory.
But what's
Jory.
Thank you.
Jory.
Yes. Jory. He has Jory take Arya safely because Ned's real confused. He doesn't know what's happening. He's like, get her to her room. And Jordan says, hey, I got something important to say. And Ned's like, is it about my wife?
Can I just interject real quick?
Yeah.
Because you keep saying how confused Ned is, and you're absolutely right, because Ned's like, did Benjen send you? Like, where you come? How you get here? He's like, Benjen? What the fuck is no?
No, I'm not here for that.
Yo, if it don't come with a raven, the Starks don't know what the fuck is going on.
People be in person like...
If anybody just pop up with a message, it's like, wait, well, what? What's going on?
They're like, we're not home, and we said we're not home. You can't come in. Like, no.
No.
Right.
Why are you
I don't
here?
know what's going on day by day.
Obviously, when it's time for him to communicate, he makes whole decrees and gives huge pieces of paper to pass secret messages. So if the shit's not written down, he don't know what the... Yeah, full scroll.
He don't know what to do.
Full scroll. Just to call it.
Oh, yeah, that scroll that Jory was carrying around, that was a huge-ass parchment.
Right.
Yes.
Paper.
Just to say...
It wasn't secretive whatsoever.
Right. I need to talk to you. When you get a chance, holla at me. That's what that whole scroll says.
Afro, thank you for that call-out, because, yes, that's one of the perfect examples of Ned being like, I can't follow any of these storylines. Who are you here about?
Yo.
He turns to camera one.
Yes, he turns to camera one. Are you guys following this?
Right.
That's why he was able to read that book and get the lineage. It's written down. He can process.
Yes.
Somebody
he got everybody else telling him.
But then they'd be the first one to not trust the Raven, right?
Yes, yes. It don't make no sense.
Oh my God.
So he's like, you're from the Night's Watch, so did Benjen send you? Did some shit go down? He's like, no, I'm here to get men, but that's also not what I came to talk to you about, and I don't know why you're in that part of my business. Second, and he's like, oh, is it about something else? And he's like, no, fam, your wife took the imp.
Your wife out here fucking up.
Your wife out here doing everything wrong. And Ned's just like, don't.
Yes, I've named it Cat's Rebellion because she have her own shit. She's got her whole own fucking mission.
It's absolutely Cat's Rebellion.
She shows up to the Eyrie with Tyrion and her now small posse of 2 more outside of her prisoner. And she's not greeted the way she probably thought she was going to be greeted. Like, the soldiers ride down, and they're like, pretty much like, you didn't tell us you were coming. We weren't prepared for you. What's going on? Why do you have him? Like, why are y'all together? What's happening?
Why are you here?
She's like, we'll let my sister decide that. They actually said, I can't remember the exact conversation they were having, but pretty much he was like, well, you're saying that he's your prisoner, but he doesn't look like that because he wasn't tied up anymore. They just been through all that shit. And it's kind of like when you get somewhere late and niggas got jokes, but they don't know that you just got pulled over by the police, you had a flat tire, you got in an argument with your partner, like all this shit happened before you got there. And now you want to talk about like, oh, well, you don't look like fuck out of my face. Like, let my sister decide that. Like, just show me to her. So it was definitely that. And then I can't remember what Tyrion and Bronn talked about at the end of that scene, but it was another bonding moment, and it was something sexual, and Tyrion definitely said, like,
I got it.
Okay.
So, sorry. So they were saying they were rolling up to the Eyrie, coming through the Bloody Gate, as they call it. And, the Eyrie has a reputation for being unconquerable because of the way it is over that cliff or whatever. And they're saying, he said, the Eyrie, this is impregnable. And
penetrable.
Impregnable, and this is where
impregnable, because it comes back.
Yeah, it comes back later. So he says, So he says they say it's impregnable, and he says, give me 10 good men, some climbing spikes, and I'll impregnate the bitch. That's what Bronn says.
Yes,
remember,
you're right.
Grey Worm,
You're right. And he says, oh, I like you. And that is the beginning of a beautiful friendship.
I like you. And so I feel like that was another, like, solid, foreshadowing of their bonding in that moment. So that was cool. It was a quick scene. And then next you see that Robert's heated. Or no, that's not what happens next. What happens next is, Ned, you see Ned walking around, headed to Robert's quarters to see him, and Ned's just got all kinds of shit going on in his head. He's like, am I fucking in trouble? Like, it was happening, and a squire or someone comes out to meet him.
Right. So this is Ned, fresh off of getting new information from Arya, new information from Yor, like. He's just all flustered, and he's heading to see Robert. And the squire, like, yeah. So he's like, listen, I need to see the king. It was like, yeah, he just called a meeting. So immediately, here goes Ned, dropping tapes. Is it about my wife? Nigga, no. Why would you chill out? First off, he called a meeting with you, not with you and the squire. Now the squire knows some shit about your wife that he didn't want. Like, what are you doing, man? Write it down, Ned. Write it down.
Journal, nigga.
Yeah, journal that shit.
Get you a journal.
So the squire's like, no, pretty sure this is about Daenerys Targaryen. And he's like, oh, okay, so forget what.
Oh, this bullshit again?
Yeah, forget it. No, I never even. Who has a wife? Me? I don't have a wife. Don't worry about it. No one has a wife. You have a wife? Let's talk about your wife. We were talking about your wife. But, no big deal. So he's heading to the small council meeting. Actually, he was like, yeah, so they're already at the small council meeting. So then he heads into the small council meeting, and the very first words, Castro, do you remember the first words out of Robert's mouth when he walks into the meeting?
No, because he's ranting about the Targaryens, and then does he address Ned?
I was very specific. It was like, I want them all dead, or.
But yes, he was like.
I thought it said the whore is pregnant.
The whore is.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Like, yeah. Well, hello to you too. The whore is pregnant. Like, oh shit.
That's exactly how Ned looked too. Like, oh fuck, this again.
Yeah.
They also confirm it's a son, right? Did they say that part too?
No, they said
if
it's a boy.
Okay, if she has a boy. Okay. And then so Ned is coming in like,
how would they know it's a son? Come on, Castro. This is no,
but like blood magic.
No ultrasounds, my nigga.
Afro.
No, I know, but
blood magic.
Daenerys thinks she's so positive. And what if they have birds there hearing her talk to Drogon about it being a son? And that's all I'm saying.
No, I'm with you. I'm just fucking with you. I'm sorry.
I know. So then Ned is like, again, so this is another moment that Ned is like reminded that Robert is not who he thought he was because he's still stuck on this. And Ned is going in about, so we're going to quake at the feet of a child, over the seas, the same points he's been making about I'll fear of Dothraki when I see a, horse walk on water or ride a boat or anything like that. It's so crazy. So what else noted Ned is so Ned and Robert are kind of going at it, and Robert makes a declaration. Y'all are my counsel. Counsel, advise this. What do you call him? Like this wise fool? Does he call him like a fool?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, right. Honorable fool.
Honorable fool. And he goes around the table, starting with bitch ass fucking Pycelle. So many thousands of people that would die. This almost is a mercy killing. If we kill her first, we save all these lives, and she shouldn't suffer longer than she has to. What the fuck? I would have his head. I can't stand him. So they go around the table, starting with him, and realize that Ned is pretty much outnumbered with this idea of not killing this girl. But there's also, again, I want to say, the scene is in Ned's favor. He seems like he's taking the higher road, but we come to find out not too long from then, there is some naivete going on with Ned in terms of not wanting to do that or not agreeing with the council or not really figuring. He's not picking up game quickly. So he's still in his honor bag, and it's just not turning out really well for him. So after everybody says that they agree with the king, and do y'all agree? Wouldn't they all agree with the king? Like, when he's there, when he's actually present in the council, are they sitting there disagreeing with him, or do they save that for times that he leaves it up to them?
I think in his presence, they're definitely going to agree with him. They're not going to disagree with him at that point. Yeah.
All right. That's what I felt. So then Ned is looking around. He's obviously, it's like at this point Ned realizes, where the hell am I at and how did I get here? And,
right.
You know what I'm saying? what did I, like, he's probably going over, why did I take this job? Like, I'm out of here. He snatches off his little pen. He tosses it down because Robert gives him the ultimatum. I need to find somebody that can do this job. And he says, well, good luck finding him. And he tosses it down, and he walks out.
Now, before that, when they're going around the table, Ned questions the legitimacy of the intel, and Varys is like, nah, I got Jorah as my advisor. He's my inside man. And there's like, you trusting the word of a traitor? Like, I was like, damn, I forgot how serious this was. And any betrayal of the law with Ned is like, nah, look, there's no honor within this dude, whatever. And then Littlefinger kind of like goes to bat for Jorah a little bit, like, he was slave trading. Like, let's be for real here.
That's not the same as being.
Yeah.
It's also alluding to, if he was doing this over in Essos, it wouldn't be a thing. But isn't Ned the one that actually banished him? Wasn't it specifically Ned?
Yeah. Okay. So then after after Ned walks out, he heads back to his chamber, and he's packing the fuck up. He's like, I'm good. We gotta get the fuck up out of here. And in packing up, they give us a glimpse of that Valyrian steel blade that was used to try to kill Bran, which comes back later on when Littlefinger gets killed with it. So Ned has had that with him the entire time. So he packs that up. Jory comes to the door, and he tells him, listen, don't send to get the girls packed up. You go pack them up yourself, because we're getting the fuck up out of here. And then who comes in? Littlefinger. So what's up with you guys' personal business? Hey, you want to know something before you leave? I could take you to the last person that Jon Arryn talked to before he died. I was just like, oh, God, again with this motherfucker, man. Again with his bullshit. Ned listens and is like, all right, you know what? I'm down for this. This can work. I think we can do this.
Yeah, because he's like, Ned's like, I don't have time for this. But he's like, all right, that's cool, but it'll only take an hour. And he's like,
right,
fine, an hour.
Right. So even on his way out, he's still trying to get some information that when he gets back to Winterfell, he can write it down and send the large decree, probably by post.
Because it's so heavy, a raven can't take it.
Because it's so heavy. You can't trust the raven because
we're on a big piece of paper.
Yeah. So he's going to, let Robert know, hey, this is what's really going on. And then we cut back to the Vale, right?
Yeah, we cut to the Vale. And it opens with Robin, who is Kat's sister, and she's freaking the fuck out. Like, you brought him here? How could you do this? This is not what the plan is. Like, what is going on? You fucking zoom out. She's breastfeeding 37-year-old son. And you want to talk about cutting the camera one. When they cut away from her and back to the group, everyone's like, yo.
And look,
that's a whole grown up.
They're so bewildered. Like Catelyn and her group, they're so bewildered. But what I want everybody to notice, if you do watch the scene again, look at all her constituents. They've been shook. She's been breastfeeding this kid, walking around this place. Everybody's just kind of ignoring it. It's like the Emperor's New Clothes. They're just looking at this crazy woman with this door in the sky. I think it's hilarious. They're all like, just kind of acting normal.
Don't say nothing. Don't say nothing.
Right.
You don't see it, we don't see it. Don't say nothing.
And Tyrion looking like, I told you your sister was crazy.
I fucking told you, bitch. I told you.
This bitch is out of her mind.
What do you know?
I thought you were going to take me to your diabolical sister. So then this proves that the Raven messages actually don't work because they make you think someone's more stable than they are.
Oh, my God.
Kat's face looks like she's trying to keep it together. Fucking Tyrion looks like, ugh, but I told you. And Bronn is like, ugh, like what the fuck is it? Like all of them have these crazy ass faces on. And then Kat try to get fancy, like, you could have told me about these motherfuckers and how like off they are and she's like, yes, bitch, I told you to stay the fuck away from them, not fucking bring them to my house. Like, that's not what I wanted. And Kat's like, oh, okay, right.
Whoop-de-doodles misinterpreted that.
Now.
Another cat face. Another cat face. Looks like a cat meme. Okay.
And then her dumbass on stand up talking about, you know, the man is little. I want to kill him. Can we make him fly, mommy? I was like, oh, that's right. I fucking hated your ass, too.
Oh, that's right. All y'all motherfuckers crazy.
Right.
Oh, that's right. Crazy. The veil is fucking nuts.
You drinking crazy milk. You drinking crazy milk from your crazy mom. Great.
Crazy milk from the crazy mom, yo. So, I don't know what else happens in that scene because I just felt like so traumatized going back to like, oh, that's right. Oh, and then he speaks. Oh, it's a lot. I do know that they readjusted at some moment after, I guess he said, can you fly? And she put her boob away, and then he sat back on her lap again. But,
right.
I don't know. Anybody else got anything for that scene? Because it was a lot.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
Oh.
But they do.
Well, I guess then she
does.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was going to say then, I mean, the scene, it ends, but she's like, you know, saying take him to his cell or whatever. It's not like a, she doesn't give him a sentence, but she's like.
Right, like she decides he's guilty of some shit, though. You're not going to be around us right now.
Right.
You're going to go live in that cell for a little bit and think about what you
did.
You're
not getting bed tonight, nigga.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, sleep on the couch, nigga.
So, so it is a crazy scene. So then they take Tyrion to their special set of cells that they have, and this is a great shot, and we also get the full scope of where the Eyrie and the Vale actually are and why they're so-called impregnable and stuff. So he gets put into what is a sky cell, and as the camera pans out, you realize that it's a cell with walls except one wall. There is no one wall, and it's just, I guess, 1,000-foot drop to your death. Right?
Just a dead drop.
So
it's the most diabolical shit ever.
It's pretty much out in the open, and you're exposed to the elements and stuff. And then there's also some henchmen who's yelling, you know, get some sleep, half man. He calls him half. This is the half man tag, right? Get some sleep, half man. And he's like slobbering all over himself. And he closes the door, and then Tyrion edges out to the edge to realize his the full scope of his predicament. And then he scales back to the back wall to hopefully survive this ordeal. Then
I would have vomited.
What?
It's crazy because most people would have put a wall there, and that would have been your window in the. You know what I mean? Like you got a wall and your window to the outside where you can see that it's daylight or nighttime or whatever. But not this bitch.
Yeah, no. And we come to find, it's curious later on. Like, you got to be careful. You move if you move in your sleep. You're one of those persons who move in your sleep. You got to be careful. So next up we have a very touching scene between the stag and the rose.
Oh God, that's so great. So cut to Loras. Well, Renly's in the bath Ish? Is he in the bath? Did I just make that up?
No, she's just
in
shaving.
The bath? No, they're just he's sitting in
the chair. He's
just
sitting there
in the living room.
Okay.
No, it's not the living room, but
okay.
they like.
I'm bugging. Well, Loras is nobody has a shirt on. Number one, there's just no shirt. And Loras is shaving Renly. And one of my funny takeaways from this was Renly saying, "You like me this way?" And Loras is like, "Yeah, obviously, because I'm doing this to you right now." And Renly's like, "If you like a shaved boy or a hairless person, go find a boy." And he's like, "I like you." And it's such I think everybody has those insecure moments. Like, you're doing something to me that is not natural, and why do you want it to be like this? And then it's like, well, you must want someone else.
Why are you trying to change me? Why are you trying to change me?
Why don't you go find that person that you think you want? Yes, like all of it. And he's like, no, I want you just without your chest hair. That's it. Like, it's still
you want somebody like that, why don't you go be with them? Why don't you go be with that type of person?
Yes.
Be with them then.
And Loras is like, no, it's you. I choose you. I just want you without chest hair. Anyway, this is our first lovely gay scene for Game of Thrones. We got all the hints. This was the it goes down-ish. Not all the way down. It goes down-ish. Anyway, so they have that little moment, and they're talking about how Renly is looked at as the scaredy cat of the group, of the Baratheons. He's never been to war, so you can't be a real man in the eyes of Robert if you haven't been to war. And he's never been to war, so he's just this cowardly little dude. And Loras is like, yeah, you kind of got to get over that. You got to stop. Don't be like that. And Renly's like, oh, you can say that because you're like the best fighter in the world. He's like, no, you'd be fine too. I practiced at this. This wasn't a gift. This wasn't something someone gave me. I worked really hard to be this good. And Renly's like, I don't know, if I practiced every day, I'd still never be as good as you. Like, it was just, he was fawning over him, also while telling us all that he has no interest in any of the bullshit that is supposed to make you a man in the eyes of Robert Baratheon, you know.
And meanwhile, Lauren is like, I'm not asking you to be, like, the craziest soldier. I just want you to be able to, like, be okay with some blood. Stop
throwing up when
like...
you see blood.
Right. Like, I want you to not scream.
I want you to stop screaming when you see a mouse. You have to stop.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, and Loras is giving him, he ends up planting the seed. Like, I don't know, you might be king material. I don't know about all this other shit you're talking about. And he's like, what? I'm like fourth in line, bro. I'm never going to be the king. And he's like, what? You could be the king. I swear you could, and I'd fight for you. And then Loras cuts Renly to show him the blood, and it's just a major G shit of, look at the blood, quit being the way you've been being. This shit ain't that big of a deal. It runs in all of us. Sometimes it spills out. NBD, get the fuck over this shit. I want to fight for you because I want you to be my king. Also, you're arguing too much with me. I'm just going to give you a blowjob.
So, it was very painful.
Game of Thrones.
No, we're not restarting right there. No, we're going to sit on this one. Take it apart. Afro, go for it.
So, yeah, it was very painful. Like, niggas get shot every day, B. Like, you need to be able to, niggas bleed all the time. You need to be able to see this shit. Like, it's, you know, everybody's like, I don't walk the same, I don't talk, like, I just don't. I was like, nah, like, come on, get it together. So, yeah, now we're going to dive deep. Thank you, Morris, for your permission. So, I find in television quite often there will be these scenes, and it's usually like white people. And they'll be like, give this like seductive eye, and then they're like, I want you to do this thing for me. And then they'll drop to their knees, and then they'll give this look in the eye, and they'll be like, and I think you'll be great at doing this thing. And to prove it, I'm going to suck your cock. And it has nothing to really do with the conversation, but I'm just wondering if this is effective. Like, if I tell you, I don't know, I think you should rob a bank. I think that you would be a great president. Like, I don't know. Like, I'm just trying to convince you of something that you don't think you could do. Would a blowjob make you change your mind?
Yo.
Fellas, hit it.
That's like, damn. That's like.
Oh, that wasn't a hypothetical? Okay, so that's a TV scenario. All right? This TV scenario of these women, like, look, you can lure somebody and wow them, but it takes I think it takes a successive amount of sexual and mental breakdowns before you can convince somebody to do some damn crime. It's not just catching their eye while you have their member in your mouth. That's not making me commit no damn crime.
Castro?
That's just how they do it on
not
TV.
Like, okay,
What?
it could be the king.
Castro?
It doesn't have to just be a crime. It could be anything that
Wait a minute.
Let's be
What?
100% honest on this.
Can we get that background?
Okay.
So this is where it's not going to be that blowy isn't the initiator. That blowy is after weeks of poking and prodding. That's the nail in the coffin. That's what that is.
Okay, I'm sorry. The episode is called The Blowy. Okay.
The Blowy.
Easily.
Yeah. That's the one that seals the deal. That's not how you're introducing the offer. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So I think that's I just didn't, until Afro put it that way, I didn't realize how often it's used in movies. And it's used in really silly ways like that. Like I'm going to give you a blowjob to convince you, to give you courage and confidence in something completely unrelated to sex. It's not like I'm giving you a blowjob to prove that I like giving you blowjobs and other people like giving you blowjobs. Because see, look, I'm giving you a blowjob. No, it's you're gonna wake up tomorrow morning and again you're gonna have this incredible mission. You're gonna kill all these people and you're gonna come back with the gold. Look, you know how I know? Blowjob. Like, yeah, it's fun. It doesn't make any sense. But
this is not to be confused. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but on some real life shit, on some old like, let me borrow some money. Let me get the keys to the whip. Can you watch the kids tomorrow? Hell yeah, that shit fucking works. Yes, it works all the time. What are you talking about? Let's be 100% honest. Now, of course, we're mature now. We're in our late 30s, early 40s. In our 20s, Castro, can you honestly say you didn't end up doing some shit you shouldn't have in the pursuit of sex or after receiving a
sex,
sexual favor?
Not just specifically blowjobs. If there was some pussy on the horizon, yes. No, I'm being serious.
But hear what you said. But wait. But peep what you just said.
What?
Peep what you just said. For it being on the horizon, you hadn't even received it yet, and we did some dumb shit.
Oh, no, I've done many a dummy mission. Like,
all right.
The most ridiculous. And I'm talking about you're in neighborhoods. Well, I usually get that. I usually get the yams. You know what I'm saying? But I've been in some sketch. No, I mean, in the pursuit of puss. In the pursuit of the yams.
Oh my God!
I've been in some sketchy neighborhoods where they sell wet on either corner. At some girl's house where her kitchen was burnt out, and she just covered it with a comforter. You didn't go into the kitchen, but if you went in there, everything was burnt.
Oh shit!
Like literally, like a room that was burnt out. Like nothing else in the house.
Yo, I wasn't ready for that at all. God bless that woman. I respect her. That just threw me so off.
My man said they just put a comforter over it and didn't go in there.
Yeah, and kept it rocking. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
Sex of it all. Yeah. So
I would
have
in
to
the morning,
agree.
and she asked, could you go to the store, and when you came back, you got a blowjob.
Yeah. Well, we kind of had to.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Okay. So to answer your question, Afro, yeah, it works in real life. It definitely works in real life.
Thank you, guys. Next, we got Cersei and Robert. So Cersei walks into Robert's office chambers or whatever, and she is just fucking, I don't know, happy as I can't even think of like a southern metaphor that's funny, but she is happy as shit, you know. And he called her out like, oh, you're happy because me and Ned broke up. Glad to like bring you some pleasure. And he's really kind of like sad. And I think we've talked a little bit about how Ned had expectations of Robert, but I think Robert also had a bunch of expectations of Ned too. And I think Robert really thought that they were a nice match based on whatever the extent of their relationship was previously. But, you know, Ned has been like this conscience that he wasn't really prepared to deal with. Mm-hmm. And so Robert starts talking a little bit more about the Dothraki and pretty much like why he has to kill or feels that it's necessary to kill Dany and her brother and her offspring, pretty much. And then Cersei talks about how, you know, powerful their army is and how it's not really a problem, and not to, like, take up for a reason why they shouldn't kill them or why they shouldn't be a threat, but more so to kind of, like, brag and boast on, like, the power of, you know, the Lannister Baratheon armies and what they're capable of. And Robert's like, you know, you move your lips and your father's voice comes out with each trick you have there. And then that's when we get that really great quote that we referred to in the last season where Robert's pretty much like anyone would be a fool to meet the Dothraki in an open field. Because pretty much like we talked about earlier in this episode that, like, you know, they're fucking training 4-year-olds with an arrow on and off horses, you know, so
right.
That's like their territory. They're ready for any open field. And we see that in the last season as well, too. And so then he paints a really nice picture, which is, for me, it was really realistic, you know. So, like, okay, so you have to be a fool to meet them out in the open field, but, all right, let's say that you stay holed up in your castle. Then they just run around fucking raping everybody and pillaging your town until the people in your town can't take it anymore and think of you as a coward or that you're on some bullshit. And then how long before they actually start following, and not just the Dothraki, but knowing that the Dothraki would be working for the Targaryens or be, you know, in alliance with the Targaryens. And then he's like, let me ask you a question, like, what's the bigger number or what's stronger, 5 or 1? And she's like, 5, of course. And then he does his thing where he holds up 5 fingers and a fist in 5. And he's like, 5 or 1. And it's like, oh. And then he talks about how, you know, as Baratheons and Lannisters or all of that, they don't really have anything that they're fighting for other than, like, power. But when he talks about the Dothrakis being that one fist compared to the 5 fingers, like, the Dothraki, like, are united. They have something that they're actually fighting for, that they're standing for, and, you know, that's what makes them stronger, that they're both united and that they have something that they actually believe in. Like, we don't have shit that we believe in, so... And so then Robert's like, he said something to the effect of, like, you know, I mean, what do you think has been holding this kingdom together? And Cersei's like, our marriage. And they both crack the fuck up, which is hilarious.
Just
like,
yeah.
Our marriage. Could you imagine that? Like, just cracking up.
Like, Negro, please.
Yes. And then the scene pretty much ends with Cersei posing the question or asking about Lyanna, is that how you say her name? Lyanna Stark?
Lyanna, yeah.
Lyanna. And so, she asked about her, and Robert's like, you haven't asked about her in all these years. Like, why ask her now? And she's like, it was pretty much blasphemy at one point. Then I was just trying to, like, sort of circumvent bringing up any feelings for you, blah, blah, blah. He's like, well, why are you asking about her now? And I forgot what she says. Anybody remember what she says, why she's asking about her now?
Nah, I can't remember.
Yeah. So anyway, he answers, and he's like, to tell the truth, I can't even remember what she looks like, and that drives me crazy. But I know that, like, all the 7 kingdoms couldn't fill the hole that she left in my life, which was like, God damn, like, fuck, all the 7 kingdoms. And if all the 7 kingdoms didn't feel it, I know I ain't feel it, but still I'm going to have to ask you, Robert, was there ever a chance for us? Because I did care about you at one point early on, and even after we had our first kid, and lost our first kid, I cared about you for a while, and, like, was there ever a chance? And he was like, nah.
No.
And
never.
Cersei, like, she keeps a fucking poker face, but you can still tell that she be breaking down inside sometimes. And I feel like this is one of those moments where even for her to be that vulnerable to ask him, did you ever care about us? Or did you ever care? Was there ever a chance? Like, to put yourself out there like that and then to be like, I didn't care either, is a lie. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, you definitely.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Because he was like, how do you feel about that? And she was like, I don't feel anything about it. Or how does that make you feel? And she was like, I don't feel anything. And then she rolled out. Yeah. But it's like, you fucking feel something because you asked. You put it out there. You didn't just ask. You said, like, I cared too. And so for me, that scene was very much like, okay, we get to, like, look a little bit deeper into their relationship as well as into Cersei, which you kind of forget about some of that stuff with Cersei because she's so cold when we see her now. But this is kind of, like, reminding you of parts of, like, why she is so cold, why she is, like, so broken and so guarded. And, you get to see it. And you know that most likely they are an arranged, house of marriages, like, let's combine our houses in this way, very strategic,
right.
Had nothing to do with them loving one another, but you can see that she tried to love him. There's no story behind Cersei having someone prior to Robert, only like her having her brother after Robert and during Robert, but there's not like someone who like broke her heart or blah, blah, blah. So, it kind of like, it's never okay to, fuck your siblings. But in terms of infidelity, it does open up an understanding of why she hasn't been faithful to him and how deep his infidelity also goes in that way of, like, when you just have somebody like Robert's just out there fucking broads. Like, he don't have some other woman that he has feelings for that he's cheating on Cersei with.
Right.
He's just fucking women. And, Jamie hears him fucking these women, and it's sort of like this torturous kind of space that he puts Jamie through, which is also, you could presume that he knows that Jamie and Cersei are fucking, and so this is like his little mind game that he plays with them too. So you kind of see like all of the fuckery that's going on in all of this shit, and you get reminded of why Cersei's so fucking cold and cut off, and how she's been hurt as well. And in that conversation, last thing I'll say, in that conversation, they also mentioned that they've been together at this point for 17 years, which is a long fucking time.
Crazy. That's crazy.
A long fucking time to not be in love with someone.
Yeah.
To not even like them. To not even care about them at all. Like, that's forever.
Probably most of her life at that point. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Like, they get married off young. Like, Sansa was planned to be married to Joffrey, 16 or something like that? Like,
I think she was earlier
than that. When you're 21.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like 14. Yeah. Like, it was like, have you bled yet? Like, once you start bleeding, we can start talking about this marriage, So 17 years is a long time in and of itself, but 17 years when you, 32, you know what I'm saying? That's hella long.
Yeah.
Right.
And then she was also sleeping with Lancel too, right?
She was.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So then also, Lancel's privy to him sleeping with all these other women. Like that was a very crazy space for her to be in. And I think you're right, Af. I didn't look at it that much in the moment of watching that particular scene, but as you're, breaking it down now, definitely imagining being with this dude for 17 years and what type of toxic environment that created just their relationship alone. And the only refuge she had was her sibling, which apparently she was fond of and had children with.
Right.
And,
right.
that's
and her children.
Right.
She don't care about
Wild.
them.
I think she cares about her children. I think that she cared about her children at some point, at least. Maybe not at the point in the story that we're at, but, like, you got 3 children that are close in age, and so when they're, like, 2, 4, and 6 or some shit like that, like, I don't know, maybe you care about them, or not you, like.
But no, don't forget y'all that every child she had was another notch in the prophecy.
So I think those kids have been a burden on that prophecy coming true since the prophecy happened.
You know what I'm saying? So like every time she was having one, it was, I'm nice to have a kid, but it's just like, oh shit, that's another thing that came true. Trust and believe, she's been eyeballing this prophecy since the frog witch told her. So everything she's been doing is in service of that.
Yeah.
So I don't know if she actively stops trying. There's never that angle of her actively trying to stop the prophecy, but she's definitely keeping track and taking notice of everything that is coming true.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe she doesn't care about her children, but I guess I speak more from the space of like loss, because like if all you've had is this bullshit relationship, your weird ass relationship with your brother, your weird ass relationship with your cousin, and these kids that you don't care about that much, then you lose your husband. Then you eventually you have more losses, and you care at some point about the things you're losing, even if you don't care about the ones you have. So
good point.
That's kind of
good point.
Definitely.
Yeah. So we cut to Robert is now in the brothel, and he is looking at what we can assume is Robert's youngest child, this little girl, that he had.
You said Robert, you meant Ned, right? You said Robert.
Ned. No.
Ned. Okay.
Robert.
Rob's kid. Baratheon. Yeah, the king.
He was in the brothel?
No, Ned was in the
he
brothel.
said Ned was in the brothel looking at Robert.
Right. And you just misspoke. You said Robert was in the brothel looking at Robert. That's all I'm just correcting for listeners. You meant to say Ned.
Well, the tape will reveal what I said. I'm pretty sure I said Ned.
It will.
It's quite all right.
So anyway, when it plays, you gotta play it 4 times in a row.
So he's looking at, of course, what we find out is Robert's youngest child, and I didn't pay much attention to it the first time around. Definitely the second and third time I watched the episode. This little girl's young. This young mother is young, man. Like, she's 14, 13. Like, she's young. And, like, Robert's just like, dude, you're the king. This is what you're, like, you're just out here. You're having sex with kids, bro. Like, fuck. You're getting kids pregnant. Like, you're not a good king. You're just not a good king. You're not a good husband. You're not a good Robert.
Not
you're
a good king.
You're not. You know what I'm saying? You would have
You're not a good Robert.
You're not a good Robert. You're not a good person.
No. So, Ned's asking her, when John and Aaron came to see you, what did he want, or was he saying to you? And she was like, no, he didn't. He wasn't like that. He didn't want anything from me. He's just making sure the child was healthy and That was pretty much it. Just make sure everything was cool. And Ned, says, this child shouldn't want for anything. And then he walks into the next room on his way out, and Baelish is sitting there, on some, hey, see, I told you this was a good idea. You should always listen to me. So you got any more personal business I can help you with? Because
That's what I do.
And I'm stalling. I'm just stalling you out, bro, because I got some shit set up outside for you. So you want to talk a little bit more till we get outside? Or you want to go outside now? All right, fine. Okay. I think my people are here anyway, so you can go outside. But while all this is happening, Jory is mesmerized. Boobs. He's in a boob tractor beam. He's just zoomed in. Ned has walked out of the room. He stops because Jory hasn't moved his feet yet. And he turns around and is like, Jory! He's like, oh, okay, all right, yes, all right. Because we're leaving. Because I got to get the girls. We got to get out of here. All right, cool. And then he follows them out. He finally follows them out. And then we see outside, Ned is confronted by Jaime and the Kingsguard. Oh, boy.
Yes, there are mad Kingsguards outside with Jaime, and Ned looks a little taken aback, which he should. And Jaime's pretty much like, where's my brother, nigga? Like, word on the street is your wife took my brother hostage, and I need to know what's going on. And so this is a moment where you're like, thank God for urine, because if urine would not have stopped by, fucking Ned would have probably been like, my wife would have never done that. You must have it. Like, I feel like the conversation would have gone completely differently.
Yes.
And so instead, since he did have that information, he was able to cover for fucking rogue decisions and be like, yeah, she did it at my command. Like, I fucking told her to do that shit, and we got him, and he's cool. And he at my sister-in-law house. And Jaime's pretty much like, that's unacceptable. I'm not trying to hear that. And Jaime's like, I think Jaime's pretty much like, I'm gonna arrest you or like take you in. And Ned's like, oh, or nah. And then they come to arms. And correct me if I'm wrong. It's just Jorah and Ned, right? It's not more than the two of them.
No, it's Jory and Ned, but they also had men with them because Jaime gives the order. Yeah, because Jaime gives the order to kill his men, take him alive. And they start spearing everybody and killing all the people that were actually with Ned, which is probably like a garrison of probably 10, 15 people. I mean, he's not handing the king is kind of in the grave, but he's still walking around with his own guard that he brought with him from Winterfell as well.
Right.
Okay.
So then it gets broken down.
So they're doing that, and shit gets real. Jory gets stabbed in the eye. And
no, Jory, no.
And I think that's what stops Ned in his tracks from actually, because Ned was going down, and pause. He was not. Shit was going down, and I think once Jory got stabbed in the eye, it was like whoa, and he chilled for a second, and then that's when the head-to-head battle starts with Jaime and Ned.
All right. So the first thing I wanted to say is this is the first glimpse of two of the best fighters in the show, and it's also the last glimpse because we don't get to see either one of them fight this way again. I was watching it, and I was like, God damn, I wish Jaime's hand didn't get cut off so we could see him sword fighting more. He's really talented. Like, when he's starting off, you can see the good sword fighters are, probing. So he starts probing Ned to see how good he is. And so he's immediately impressed after their first couple of parries. He's like, oh, okay, you got some skill. I'll use both my hands. Mm-hmm. So then they're going at it, and you also know that Ned is really good at it. Ned is not as graceful and balletic as Jaime is, but he's very efficient and knows how to handle his stuff. So he's giving Jaime a good to go for. And so Jaime is you can see there's two things. He's trying to defend himself and play, but he's not playing anymore. He's like, all right, I got to really seriously fight this guy. And then when his stupid guards comes in and stabs Ned in the leg, and Ned goes down to one knee. And I like this about Jaime. He was immediately incensed about this. I like this about his character, and he went and knocked that motherfucker out because he was like, you really disrupted what was to be an honorable, maybe classic, legendary fight. And he should have gave both of us a chance. And I'm a swordsman, so I follow that one, honored it. Whoever was the best out of that, that's just what it was. But we were going to settle that and not you. And so he came and knocked his ass out with the hilt of the sword. And he gets back on his horse while Ned is struggling. And he said, I want my brother back. Lord Stark, I think he called him, but in a very sarcastic way. I want my brother back, Lord Stark. And he rides off, and all of the Lannister men follow him. When you come to find out later, if you look at their colors, I think there were more Lannister men than Kingsguard there at that particular time.
Yeah, they were.
I think the Kingsguard rose strictly with the king, except Jaime in that instance. Yeah. So
yeah.
And that was great. And then Ned passes out from the wound or just the shock, I guess. As viewers, we know he's not dying, whatever, but we know he's in bad shape.
Yeah, Jaime was very salty with Dude. Doing that sneak attack on Ned because, like you said, this was a moment he was living for. He always wanted.
Yes.
From the first time, they talking slick to each other. It's like, let me see what this is about. Jaime hasn't had this type of action in God knows how long, and to have the opportunity to actually kill the head of the Starks, like, he definitely
flex,
shit. Yeah, he wanted to flex like that. And so I thought he had actually killed that guard the first time I watched it. Well, my memory from the first time I watched it, I was like, oh, wait, he ends up killing this guard that sneaks Ned, but he doesn't. It just, But, that was dope. That was very dope.
It was a great way to end the episode. Right. And one of the best sword fights we have in the length of the episode, of the series.
Yeah.
This is one of the best sword fights we had. Okay, so thank y'all listening for tuning in. That's it. Oh, Jory. And he was such a cool little guy who was running around with the girls. And
he was.
All about this guy. I didn't remember about this guy at all. I was like, oh, shoot. Man, I had like a right hand there. Him and, Jury and Not Beard. They're kind of parallel.
Yeah.
So, for our listeners, this episode will go up pretty quickly. Take this time to catch up on other episodes, and we have another episode coming up that we will also be doing this week, just to catch us up and get back to our regularly scheduled programming. So we are a podcast has no name, and we enjoy y'all for sticking around with us. And we will see everybody next week.
Thank you.
All right.
Game of Thrones.